He's swung on and hit in the air to right field deep. And you can't forget about this one. Blaze Salter hits number 5, and the Newport Gulls retake the lead.
This is the Newport Gulls pregame show, live from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island.
Gone! A grand slam! To left power, right tower power, and the Gulls walk off in the 15th inning!
Coming up, interviews, stats, standings, lineups, and a whole lot more.
Tomas steps on the bag for one out, throws to first, and he's in time, a double play.
And that one is gone! Joe Hefner!
Swinging a high drive, left field deep. Bolzano going back, looking up. This ball is a 2-run homer. P.J. Jones hits it out.
Stay tuned. The pregame show begins now on the NECBL Broadcast Network. In his second season covering Newport Gulls baseball, here's play-by-play broadcaster Dave Peck.
Newport has caught fire as of late, and they look to make it 4 straight wins in a row as they take on the 19-16 Mystic Schooners for the 5th time this season. Dave Peck welcoming you to Cardines Field on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night, where 500 Newport Gulls team posters will be given away at the ballpark, courtesy of Regine Printing. Newport coming off back-to-back wins over the first-place Plymouth Pilgrims. Most recently, a 5-3 victory on Wednesday night. That featured Jason Gonzalez, who had 2 home runs and 3 RBI in the ball game. Newport right now has started to hit the ball very well. 46 home runs. They lead the NECBL in that category as they take on the Mystic Schooners here tonight. Right now, Mystic is 2 games up on the Newport Gulls for that 3rd and final spot in the Southern Division standings. They come into this game after a 10-4 loss to the Ocean State Waves last night. They bring in a 4.02 team ERA, which is currently 6th in the NECBL. It should be a good game with just 11 regular season games left here in 2018. It's the Gulls and the Schooners as we head towards the final stretch of the season. Don't go anywhere. The Newport Gulls pregame show starts right now. Welcome back to the pregame show. It is time for the Broadcasters Roundtable. Dave Peck alongside Newport Gulls field reporter Joe DeLeon and the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Mike Majeski. Joe, we'll start with you. 5-3 win on Wednesday night over the first-place Plymouth Pilgrims. Really the first complete game we've seen from Newport in quite a while. What was working for them?
Well, the one thing that I think was really big here, and I talked about it in the post-game show after that game, was we finally saw a game in which everybody across the board was getting multiple hits, was getting involved with production. Previously, in the little bit of a drought that we saw, a lot of it was because they'd have one guy that would go 3 for 4, 4 for 5, that kind of night, and everyone else was either 0 for 4 or 1 for 4. The key for them going forward, if they want to be winning more baseball games, is they need everybody to produce consistently and also together. It can't be just one guy. 11 games left in the regular season, just 4 here at Cardines Field, which is almost unbelievable to say. But, you know, going forward, does the approach change at all now that they won 3 straight, or they just got to keep doing what they're doing? No, just keep doing what they're doing. Like I said, you know, just trying to get everything back on track. What they were doing earlier in the season was really big. They were hitting the ball well. They were getting after it. And then now, like I said, just need to keep going on what they're doing. Maybe a little bit of it can be attributed to what we saw on Monday afternoon, in which Coach Coombs did the impression of I'm blanking on the name here.
Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers. Maybe that was what sparked what we're seeing right now.
Could be a lot of good things going on here at Newport. Now, Mike Majeski. Mike, 3-2 in the last 5 games. You guys are 19-16, just 1 game back of the Plymouth Pilgrims, but pitching has struggled recently, especially on the road. What's got to change?
Yeah, well, the Schooners played a couple of games against the Ocean State Waves and took 2 out of 3. We played them 3 straight times. But last night, Schooners pitching issued 13 walks, which has kind of been the problem. Hit 2 batters as well. We saw a number of wild pitches, 1 pass ball as well. So control has been an issue on the road. I think the Schooners are much more comfortable at home, and we have 3 straight home games after this one today. So it's going to be nice to get back at home. But definitely, I think control, and after Kumar Nambiar, you know, guys just haven't really been comfortable on the mound.
It's interesting. Mystics averages towards the end of the NECBL, but they're top 3 in runs. What do you attribute that to?
Timely hitting. Yeah, a lot of strikeouts as well. I think the Schooners are 2nd in the league in strikeouts, but when they get guys on base, they get a lot of doubles. They drive them in. Leaving runners on base hasn't been a problem. The problem has just been getting guys on base, and the Schooners score in bunches. They'll have 2-3 really productive innings, but for the rest of the game, there's not much. So it only takes a couple innings for the Schooners to put a lot of runs together.
Just a week, maybe a week and a half left in this NECBL season. You've been around the guys. Have you noticed any change in approach, any change in the way they go about their business with such a close Southern Division?
I honestly think it's been kind of the same all year. The Schooners are here and they want to win. I've been hearing on the bus they're talking about getting to the championship, winning the division. I think they really want to do that. And as you said, every team is right in it. Newport is only 2 games back of the Schooners for the last playoff spot. So tonight is a very important game. It's going to be a fun matchup, and it's going to be fun to see what happens down the stretch. All
right, playoff implications on the line here for Mike Majeski and Joe DeLeon. I'm Dave Peck. The Newport Gulls pregame show continues next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the NECBL Broadcast Network pregame show. I'm Joe DeLeon, and standing with me is Shannon Carlson, who is the is it the executive producer or the assistant to the executive producer role?
Assistant to the assistant director of broadcasting, but I also am like the producer in the credits and many other things.
All right, so Shannon, like I said, you have a role with the broadcasters department, and particularly you do a lot of things for this program. But what started you out? What brought you here in the first place?
So back in 2012, I was still at Rhode Island College, and Tom Lemer, our executive producer, director of broadcasting, reached out to me and said, I need someone to come in a few games to do graphics. I did graphics for hockey when I was at Rick, so I was like, all right, I can come down. So I was here for a few days doing that. I was actually here, I think, opening day too in 2012. Kind of was on off, watching games. And then in 2013, I became full-time.
So from what I understand, when you first got to Rick, your intentions were not to major in communications. How did you end up getting involved with the radio department and the broadcasting department there at Rick?
So I worked with programming, which is an event planning organization, and we used WXIN, Rick's radio station, a lot for DJing events. And so I met Tom through there. I met his brother Nick through there. And so they actually started getting me to film student parliament meetings. So I just started doing that, and then I did some hockey, and then it kind of came in from here. But I was not a communications major. I was a psychology major.
So since, like you said, you were a psychology major and then you ended up doing some broadcast stuff, do you want to keep doing broadcasting? Do you want to keep moving up, or is there any intentions to keep building upon this, or would you rather be doing something else?
So as of right now, I'm going to stick with my job at Hasbro Hospital as a mental health worker. I'm considering grad school at some point to either a master's in social work or school counseling, mental health counseling. So that's kind of my primary path, but I still love what I'm doing down here in the summer, working with the players, the interns, training the interns, really letting them reach their full potential and what they can do here.
So I was talking to you before the interview, and you were telling me how long you've been here, and it was a little bit over 5 years. How has the broadcast changed over this time, and some of the different people we've seen that have come in and out, whether it's play-by-play or intern role?
Oh my gosh, so much has changed in the last few years. Equipment-wise, we've upgraded to full HD online, so that's something big for us. We have 6 cameras now. We've had 5 previously. Nick Lima really did a lot when he was here, and unfortunately he had to leave at some point, but he really built us a foundation. Him and his brother Tom Lima really built us the foundation for what we have now, and we've been lucky to have good broadcasters coming in, good interns, good people, to really build the base of this organization. And so we've just been continuing to be the premier of filming summer baseball. We've done a few All-Star games now. We've traveled to Stanford. We've gone to Holyoke. We've gone to Laconia. We did the All-Star game here. So we're the best, in the business. Not to toot our own horn, but we really try, and it's rewarding once you see players' families reaching out and saying, "Thank you for what you're doing. You have a good broadcast." That and seeing how all the interns develop over the years. Like, everyone makes so much tremendous progress from the first day that they come in until the end of the year. I'm still in touch with some of the former interns and where they've gone and what they've gone on to do, and whether it's more media, writing things. Some have gone on to work in television around the country for different sports organizations. Someone's actually just got a job with the MLB in New York, so that's pretty awesome. So we've been very fortunate to have people come back, for a few years, and we're really lucky to work with such amazing people.
So the season's coming to an end. We've got a few games left here and there, not a lot of home games. So next season's up on deck. Is there anything in the works right now? Any changes that could potentially be happening to the broadcast? Maybe any improvements, or are we just sticking with the way things have been going?
Nothing right now. We'll continue to evaluate as we go along, kind of figure out what needs to change, what we can improve on, what we can make better. We added Facebook Live in this year, which was awesome. A lot of people really like it and tend to follow along with us as well. And we have a new broadcast partner this year, Stretch Internet. So they stream all our games for $8 a game, or there's a season pass option. Audio is always free, always will be. But with Stretch, really, we have heard that we're broadcasting better than ever right now. They're really on top of all the streams that we do. They're monitoring, if something goes down, if something's not quite right. And we've had, Chuck Peter was listening the other night and from Portugal, and he was saying that it sounded really great. And everyone, continues to be impressed by what we're doing, and we sometimes impress ourselves with what we come up with for content and things like that. So nothing quite yet in the works for next year. We'll take a look at our equipment, see what we might need to improve upon, maybe get a camera or two, figure out what's working, what's not working, and, really go from there. But we're gonna probably do the 2018 Hall of Fame sometime in the fall, early winter this year. So that's an exciting project for us, with the fact that Tom and I will be putting together different highlight reels for each of the players being inducted. So that's something to kind of look forward for fans to look forward to. We will be recording that. We'll be putting stuff out online, kind of some tidbits and things like that, going through the archives. You find some exciting stuff. Like 16 strikeouts in one game by Chase Reed, the unassisted triple play. There's some exciting stuff out there that dates back to VHS tapes that we're trying to get back out to people, and to show, even the players, hey, I remember that happening. I was there for that, So we got some things coming up.
All right, thank you, Shannon. The NECBL Broadcast Network pregame show continues after this.
Welcome back to the NECBL pregame show. I'm Dan Byford here alongside Nick Enright. Nick, the last time I spoke to you, I addressed you as a reliever. Now it might be more fitting for me to address you as a starter or a left fielder, a right fielder, pinch runner. What do you think that I should be calling you?
Really, I'm like a Swiss Army knife. I think I fit in really any kind of position anywhere. So whatever you want to call me is whatever will fit.
So you cut off the flow recently. Where'd you do it, and what do you ask for when you get a haircut?
I went to All-American Barbershop. Stevie recommended me to go there, and Stevie wanted me to get a fade, but usually I just show him a picture. It's a lot easier. I've had a couple butchered haircuts in the past, and if you show him a picture of what you want, it's pretty hard to mess up.
All right, so had you been spoken to about potentially pinch running, pinch hitting, coming into the field the day before you relieved Stevie after you got hit?
Yeah, well, every time another guy would go home due to an injury, I'd tell Coach that that's one less guy in the way of me getting in the lineup. So I was ready for my chance.
All right, so what was your mindset like at the plate? Were you thinking you had a big runners on base situation, a couple ducks on the pond there for you? Were you thinking, I'm going bridge here?
To be honest, I kind of blacked out. Getting up there, the ball was coming in a lot faster than I remembered it, and it was a lot closer. Strike zone also is a lot bigger than I remembered it, but I think that was just kind of in general from that night, if you look back at some of the other guys too.
So did it actually help you as a pitcher, you think, to know what you would throw in a certain situation while you're standing up there?
Made me be thankful that I'm a pitcher and not a hitter.
Fair enough. How about in the field? What was it like for you out there? You got some balls hit your way. You were able to keep them under control.
Yeah, I actually thought I kind of got screwed on that. I got a lefty flare down the left field line and a slicing line drive. I mean, it's about the only two balls that I didn't want to be hit at me were those. So, but I kept them in front, and I'd like to think the runners didn't advance, so I'm happy about that.
So do you see any more plate appearances for you or outfield appearances in the future?
I think we got a couple more guys who came in who are filling some roles, so I think those guys kind of took that spot, but happy I got my one opportunity.
So as far as starting lately, you've been doing that. You've been doing a good job, good solid start there on Monday for you. Do you anticipate going back to the bullpen as the season wears on, or do you think you're good where you are as a starter?
I think I'm happy with whatever the coaches put me in. It doesn't really matter. Starter, reliever, setup man. I'll probably take Nate's job as a closer too. I don't care. As long as I'm on the bump, I'm happy.
All right. Thanks, Nick. The Swiss Army knife has spoken. The NECBL pregame show continues next.
Hi, Logan Harvey here, the Newport Gulls. Welcome back to the NECBL pregame show. I'm here with Dave Peck, one of the men behind the microphone. Dave, thank you for being here.
Logan, thank you so much for having me on the show. You do a great job, and your beard looks fantastic today.
Thank you, Dave. So does yours. So tell me a little about what got you into sports broadcast journalism and what exactly got you to Newport.
I started out in high school. I was the sports broadcaster for our news network, and it really wasn't anything. I would just talk about scores, and then went to school, played football and baseball, had to stop doing both, kind of had to figure out what I wanted to do with my life and whatever. And I actually ran into Matt Finlayson of the Ocean State Waves in Florida on our spring training trip, and then he got me in touch with Mike Falcone, and here we are.
So how has Newport been treating you so far? Are you enjoying it? Anything you like to talk about?
Newport's awesome. You know, obviously meeting all you guys, being here, the broadcast, Tom and Shannon do a great job. The host family I live with, it's so much fun to be able to, have interviews and then call the game, go out after and have some fun, and then just do it all again the next day. Nothing better in the world.
Could you talk about one of your favorite memories from the season so far?
Favorite memory from the season? I mean, there's a lot of things. There are a lot of things on the field. There are a lot of things off the field that, I really enjoyed so far this year. And, the biggest thing is we're going to keep making memories. That's the slogan that we've really come to, kind of live by here at the Newport Gulls. On and off the field, it's about competing. It's about showing up, and it's about having a good time and really playing your best baseball. I always like to say yesterday's home runs don't win today's ball games, and that can really be applied to everything.
All right, so Dave, now time for two more final, the most hard-hitting of the questions. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
What about a lobster roll?
No, that's a roll.
Can we get a little bit of definition as to why?
So a sandwich is, I think you have to look at, how the bread is positioned around the meat or peanut butter, because a peanut butter is a sandwich, so we can't do meat. But if it's like this, if it's like a boat, then it's not. That's a roll. You have to kind of flip it on its side. So I guess if you actually rotated the hot dog a little bit, then we could actually start getting into a gray area, and that's when, lawyers get involved and a lot of things start happening.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you for being with us. Logan Harvey of the Newport Gulls answering all your most hard-hitting questions. Thank you, and the Newport Gulls pregame show will continue after this.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It is time for the front office report. Dave Peck alongside Newport Gulls Vice President Chris Patsos. Chris, big night today, Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night. What does that mean to the Gulls and the community here in Newport?
It's a huge night for us because it really is significant for the community. Mark was a great guy, big supporter of the Gulls. Teresa's a big supporter, and they've been very generous in giving back to the kids. And our camp has been a huge success once we've had it, and so it's a real big night for us. Big night, big game. We're looking forward to it.
What would you say your favorite part of being associated with the Gulls is?
Giving back to the community, by far. That's why we do this. That's 90% of the reason why we do this. The baseball is fun. The kids are fun. Everything else is good. I like being around it, giving you kids an opportunity to learn the game. So those two things, Dave, the community and all the interns, what you guys do for us, running the show. We want you to run the show. We don't want to do this. We've done this. We know what to do. We want you guys to learn this, go through it, go through the experience. We're just like minor league baseball, so we do quite a few things, as you see here, from concessions to operations, marketing, broadcasting, all that good stuff. So those two things, those two components right there, giving back to the community, seeing the kids having a great time, seeing all your kids succeed, do well, and move on to bigger and better things.
So many things that go into Newport Gulls off the field, but on the field, just 11 games left in the season. What have you seen from the guys that gives you some hope going forward here?
The best thing is that we have the guys who want to be here. That's the most important thing. We've won championships in the past with not our best teams, but with guys who want to be here, want to play hard, and want to finish out the season. So I like the core group. I like the group we have. We just picked up an outfielder, Matt, from NJIT to help us out, just a little insurance in the outfield. We're solid in the infield. Picked up another arm to help us out, but we should be good. We got enough days off coming up. The kids know what's at stake. They're all going to play. We don't have a lot of extra players, as you see, so there's no better feeling as a player coming to the park knowing you're going to play.
Now, I understand that you are going to be inducted into the Sunset League Hall of Fame along with Newport Gulls president Chuck Pava, and you won a championship in 1995 with the Atlantic Beach Club, I believe. What was that like?
It was a big party, really. Atlantic Beach Club was down on the beach. We had a good sponsor. A lot of good guys who played college ball came together from all over the state. And it was a nice summer. Last summer I played with Chuck. I played against Chuck in college. I was at Florida Southern. He was at Eckerd. And just gave us a chance to get together again up here, play, and had a lot of fun. It was a good experience, and I appreciate those guys inducting me in the Hall of Fame. I'm very, very happy about that and very honored. So.
All right, thank you, Chris. Chris Passotes for Dave Peck. The Newport Gulls pregame show continues next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Nick Bell here with Holden Cook. Now, Holden, you're new to the team. You just came in this week. What's it like being in Newport right now?
I like it a lot. It's a lot better than being in 105-degree weather in Oklahoma. That's for sure nice. The guys are all great. We get along really well. Hopefully win some more ball games, make a playoff run at it.
All right, and so what's the adjustment been like, going from, being at home to now you're here in Newport playing?
It was a little difficult at first. I flew in on Monday, but my host family's really nice. They feed me well, so that's always great. But I like it up here. So my family's on their way tonight, so that'll be good to see them.
Oh, that's nice. And so you kind of alluded to what the guys are like in your first answer. So, I mean, what are they like, outside? Because we don't get to see a lot of what their personalities are like.
We get along really well. I mean, I hang out with Dalton. We went to the casino the other night. That was fun.
How much money did you lose?
I actually didn't lose. I won some money, so that's good. Mom's not going to be mad at me for that. But we get along great. I haven't really hung out with anybody else outside, just hanging out. The bullpen guys are great. That's where I mostly spend most of my time. So.
All right, awesome. Good luck. And the pregame show continues next on NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It is time for the Coach's Corner. Dave Peck alongside self-proclaimed player coach Tim Tawa out of Stanford. Tim, the team right now, 16-17. You're on a 3-game win streak. A lot of home runs have piled up. What's been the key to the team's success?
I think just better approaches to the plate. We've been more consistent, and we've pitched a little better too. So I think we've just come together a little bit better over the last couple games and started to believe in ourselves once we had a little bit of success.
Jason Gonzalez, he had 2 home runs in Wednesday's defeat over the Plymouth Pilgrims. You seen a lot of confidence from him recently?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think all of the guys on our team believe in themselves and their ability to play well. And, we're all here because we're good players. And, it's about time Jason started hitting the ball like that because you see it in BP and, he's due. And so it's really good to see that. And I have no doubt he's going to continue having success like that in the future.
What's been the message to the team so far this season?
Just play hard, stay together as a team, and believe that, we can win, despite the ups and downs. We're all good players. We all know we're good players. And so if we just stick together and work hard, then things will work out.
Now, as a player coach, usually you're out in center field, but sometimes there are situations where you have to deal with players that aren't familiar playing the corners. We had Nick Enright, Holden Powell out there. How did you kind of adjust to that and coach them up?
I tried to make them as scared as possible. You could see the fear in Nick Enright's eyes specifically. That was bad. But Holden seemed to be, holding his own out there. He seemed confident. But Enright was scared. You could see it. He didn't want to go after any balls, but, he was pitching the next day, so it made sense.
Final stretch, 11 games left, 4 at home. What are you telling the guys when you get back into the dugout?
It's just the time to make the push, time to keep winning and keep believing in ourselves and hopefully have some fun. I think we're having a lot more fun over the last couple games because we're winning, and so hopefully that keeps up.
All right, thank you. Good luck. Player coach Tim Tawa, Dave Peck. The Gulls and the Schooners are up next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Once again, here's Dave Peck and the Newport Gulls broadcast team.
It's July race is heating up here in the Southern Division as the Newport Gulls host the Mystic Schooners for Game 5 of the season series. Dave Peck welcoming you to Cardines Field alongside Newport Gulls scorekeeper Andre Olivier, the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Mike Majeski, and Newport Gulls field reporter Joe DeLeon. Well, just a couple of weeks left, 11 games total, and it is coming right down to the wire here. Newport comes into this game riding a 3-game win streak, 16-17 on the year. They are 4th currently in the Southern Division standings, currently 3 games back of the Plymouth Pilgrims, who own the top spot, and 2 back of the Mystic Schooners. But boy, is it close. Mystic 19-16. They are in 3rd. That is the final playoff spot of the Southern Division. They're just 1 game back of Plymouth, half a game back of the Waves, and they have 2 games up on Newport. We'll see if the Gulls can continue to roll. Their last win came on Wednesday night, a 5-3 victory over the Plymouth Pilgrims on Wednesday. It was Enright who picked up the win. 6 innings, 9 hits, only 1 run, 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. And how about Nate Ryder? Once again, it's been a storyline the entire season. He picked up his 8th save as he shut down the Pilgrims 1-2-3 in the 9th inning. Jason Gonzalez with 2 home runs. His bat has come to life here in the final stretch of the season. They're going to need it as their roster is dwindling, but right now Newport is rolling, especially offensively, as I welcome in Mike Majeski here. Mystic, it's close. We talked about it. They're coming off a 10-4 loss to Ocean State yesterday. Every game from here on out means something.
Absolutely. The Schooners just played Ocean State 3 straight times, and it was huge. And going into that mini-series, the thought was for the Schooners that you have to take 2 out of 3, and the Schooners did exactly that. It's obviously tough to lose the last one because you go, with the losing way, looking to get back on track. But last night, 10-4 loss. We did see a 2-run home run by Brett Rodriguez, a solo home run by Zach Ardito in that game, and then a run pass came in on a pass ball. Chris Winkle doubled to lead off the 7th. But pitching was really the issue last night for the Schooners. 13 walks issued by Schooner pitching, and also 4 wild pitches in that game and a pass ball. So that's where the problem is. Ocean State was able to capitalize on getting guys on base with free passes. They did get some timely hits, were able to put around 10 runs. But you know what? The Schooners, they were in first place going into the game yesterday. Lost. Now we're back in 3rd place, but only a game back of first place and right in front of the Newport Gulls. So this game tonight is going to be huge for the playoff implications.
Absolutely, and there's going to be one more matchup between the Schooners and the Gulls. And, Mike, it's the last game of the season, August 1st. Unbelievable. It's like Sean McGrath knew that it was going to come down to the wire here in the South. I think things over to Joe DeLeon, our field reporter. Joe, it's been a different team. We saw Newport at the beginning of the season. They were rolling offensively. Pitching has always been a bit of a question mark, but really this past week against Plymouth and then against Plymouth again on Wednesday, 10-9, 5-3 respectively, winning in different ways.
Yeah, certainly. I think the one thing you said, you touched upon saying, is a very different team. We had a lot of guys go home, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, and now we're starting to get settled in. The Gulls are finally getting back into place. We brought in 2 new players, and honestly, I think the big thing, and I touched upon in the pregame show, is just a matter of establishing consistency. If they want to get the win today, they need to keep doing that.
It's the Gulls and the Schooners. Currently, the series is tied 2-2. It was Newport who won Game 1, 14-10 here at Cardines Field on opening night in Newport. And then that 11-9 victory at the Shipyard, 11 innings, a comeback win. Stevie Mangrum with the 2-run home run. And then a pitching duel between Jake Eater and Kumar Nambiar, 2-0 over at Fitch Heights School. And then the last one, 16-1 loss for the Gulls. Ugly for Newport, and that's exactly what the Schooners wanted, but that was a long time ago. We'll see what we have in store for installment number 5 here on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night, where 500 Newport Gulls team posters were given away at the ballpark courtesy of Regine Printing. And the Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night is a big night here in Newport. It's in honor of late husband of the former Senate President Teresa Pava Weed. And with the Gulls and the Weed family, they set up a scholarship to send boys and girls from Newport to the Gulls baseball summer camp for those who did not have the means to do so. So in attendance tonight, we have a number of senators and governor of Rhode Island, important people at the ballpark here as ceremonies down on the field are about to get set. And we have a lot of kids who are lucky enough to have a scholarship and be able to come down and enjoy a little bit of a baseball camp with the Gulls and some of the Gulls coaches. So a lot of good things happening at the ballpark here tonight. We'll take a quick break and be right back right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Getting right down to it here in the 2018 NECBL season. A lot of important games this week, next week, and for the remainder of the season. To take you around the league, here is Newport Gulls field reporter Joe DeLeon. Joe, how's it going?
Pretty good. Thank you, Dave. And we had 5 games that occurred last night, the first being Winnipesaukee Muskrats getting a 9-8 victory over the North Adams Steeplecats. Ocean State Waves ended up getting the best of the Mystic Schooners, 10-4. Sanford Mainers, another close game, 2-1 victory over the Upper Valley Nighthawks. Plymouth Pilgrims ended up pretty much blowing out the Plymouth Pilgrims with the win over the New Bedford Bay Sox, and then finally Valley Blue Sox win by a score of 11-4. As far as games today, we have 6, including the Gulls game. Vermont Mountaineers still about to get underway against the Winnipesaukee Muskrats. Ocean State Waves are facing the Plymouth Pilgrims. And then Valley Blue Sox will see the Sanford Mainers finally the last 2 games, Upper Valley Nighthawks and the North Adams Steeplecats. And lastly, New Bedford Bay Sox will take on the Keene Swamp Bats. As far as a look at the standings right now, the Valley Blue Sox still sit atop of the Northern Division, record of 23-10, and then 3.5 games back for the Sanford Mainers, 19-13. Pretty close race there in the Northern Division. Keene Swamp Bats are also 3.5 games back with a record of 20-14, and then right behind them are the Upper Valley Nighthawks at 5.5 games back. The very bottom of the division, who has consistently stayed there a majority of the season, is the Winnipesaukee Muskrats, 10-24 and 13.5 games back from the lead. As far as the Southern Division, in which the Gulls are playing in, the Plymouth Pilgrims are still up top with a record of 20-15, and a half game back actually from them is the Ocean State Waves, and then finally 1 game back as the Mystic Schooners, as that shift for the top spot continues to move around as it has done recently. And at the very bottom is the Danbury Westerners, who are 6 games back with a record of 14-21. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Joe. Newport coming into this ball game with a .278 average. That is 3rd in the NECBL. They've produced 222 runs. That is actually the amount they've given up. They've produced 191 runs, so not the best differential you'd like, but for the Schooners, 283 average. That is 12th. 209 runs. That is 2nd. What's going on there?
We talked about it a little bit in the pregame show. You know, the Schooners are also 2nd in the league in strikeouts, so it's kind of either a strikeout or a big hit, and the Schooners get guys on base. They do have a lot of power in the lineup, and tonight is a great example of that with the lineup that they have, and they're able to get home runs. They're up there in the top 5 in home runs hit, and they do get a bunch of doubles, especially in this last series against the Ocean State Waves. We saw home runs, doubles. That's what they do. When they don't strike out, they get big hits, and that's how they're able to score a bunch of runs.
At 238, they are only better than the Sanford Mainers, who bat 224 as a team, but going up against a pitching staff that has a 5.88 ERA in the Newport Gulls, 11th, and it's been a little rocky for them. Their bullpen has been strong, but starting pitching has been an issue. We'll see if they can figure it out. Right now, we're going to send it down to field level for Director of Baseball Operations Mike Falcone for Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night.
Teresa Weed, who passed away in 2009 after losing his battle with cancer. Mark Weed graduated from Rogers High School in 1978. It was right here on this baseball field that he played high school baseball and Babe Ruth baseball growing up. Over the years, Mark and Teresa had given scholarships to children in their family to attend Newport Gulls youth summer camps. Mark loved the game of baseball. It was his wish to start a scholarship fund to support the many worthy children on Aquidneck Island who would not be able to attend a Newport Gulls summer camp without the financial assistance. For 8 years now, the Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Fund has raised thousands of dollars to help send local children to Gulls summer camp to learn the game of baseball that Mark loves so much. Here with us tonight are members of Mark's family, including his wife Teresa Weed. Representing Mark's family is Arthur and Marie, Teresa's parents, Karen Harrington, Mark's sister, Teresa Soares, Teresa's husband Andrew, and daughters Megan and Andrea. Mark's sister Beverly Weed and her grandson Jaden. And Mark's sister Stacy Santos with daughter Julia. This year's camp was held at Newport's King Park from July 9th through July 12th. On the field with us tonight are campers who attended Mark's Memorial Camp. Throughout the week of camp, we went around and asked some of these young boys and girls what their favorite part of camp was. And here are a few of their responses. Julius Wilson, 8 years old, said he likes to make friends and stay active through sports. Lily McKenna likes coming to camp because it means baseball season doesn't have to end. Travis Burrows is 12 years old, and he likes being around people that enjoy baseball as much as he does. Grace Hansen, 6 years old, likes to play pickle because she can run around and get good exercise. Brandon Pine, he likes playing pickle because it's intense. And Carter Rosa, well, he likes playing pickle because he likes to eat pickles. Langston Neary, he likes getting to hang out with the players, specifically his baseball buddy Cody. Jack Rosa, he's 9 years old, and he likes to make new friends at camp. And last is Aiden Briggs. He's 8 years old, and he loves the Gulls and their summer camp because they represent Newport. Let's give it up for some of these campers. How special is that, guys? 8 years old. Tonight, we have some very special first pitch throwers to commemorate the night. First up is Andrew Soares. He's representing Mark's family, and he's Mark's brother-in-law. Oh, there you go. Next, here with us tonight, I'd like you guys to give a big round of applause as Governor Gina M. Raimondo has come down to Cardines Field. She's the 75th governor of Rhode Island and the state's first female governor, a magna cum laude graduate of Harvard and a Rhodes Scholarship attendee of Oxford University, where she earned her doctorate. Governor Raimondo later attended Yale Law School and served as a vice president at Village Ventures, co-founded Point Judith Capital, and was involved in dozens of successful startup companies across Rhode Island. I'll cut that short now. Throw it out, Governor. Wow. Next up, Senator Dominic J. Ruggiero. He's Rhode Island's president of the Senate. Senator Ruggiero resides in North Providence and represents District 4, which includes portions of North Providence and Providence. He's the father of 2 children, Charles and Amanda. Let's see what we got, Senator. Next up, we have Representative Marvin L. Abney. Marvin Abney has served the residents of Newport and Middletown in District 73 since first being elected in November 2012. In May 2016, he was named chairman of the House Finance Committee, which is tasked with adopting the annual state budget. He serves on the House Committee of Veterans Affairs. Let's see what you got. The leg kick and everything. Last, certainly not least, is Senator Michael J. McCaffrey. He's the Senate Majority Leader. He's from Warwick, Rhode Island, and a graduate of Bishop Hendricken High School. Senator McCaffrey's son, Michael, is a left-handed pitcher for your Newport Gulls. Let's see if you can follow it up. Oh, you can tell. Guess it runs in the family. Also here showing their support tonight, Senator Louis P. DePalma, Senator James Saveni, Senator Paul Fogarty, Senator Mary Ellen Goodwin, Senator Roger Picard, Senator Ann Quedenza, Senator Bill Connolly, Senator Dawn Oyer, Senator Ryan Pearson, Representative Deb Ruggiero, Senator Howard Matz, and Newport's mayor, Mr. Harry Winthrop. Let's give it up for everybody throwing out support tonight. Now at this time, I'd like everybody to please rise and remove your caps for the singing of the national anthem by Senator Bill Connolly's daughter-in-law, Jenica Conley.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's give it up for Jenica. We need one more round of applause for Mark Weed and his family here tonight. Let's give it up, everybody. Now let's get ready to play some baseball.
A lot of very big names here at the ballpark in Newport, Rhode Island. A lot of important people, but for a good cause, the Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night here at Cardines Field. First, we'll take a look at the visiting Mr. Schooners starting lineup.
Thanks so much, Dave. So leading off at second base is Sean Sullivan. Batting second, the center fielder tonight is Brett Rodriguez. Batting third, the first baseman Freddie Sabito. In the cleanup spot, and the designated hitter is Shane Kelly. Batting fifth, the third baseman Nano Santarelli. Batting sixth at left field is Chris Dutra. Steve Barmakian bats seventh. He is in right. Catching and batting eighth is Anthony Cruz, and rounding it off in the 9-hole at shortstop is Zach Ardito.
Thank you, Mike, and they will take on Russell Smith, rising sophomore at Texas Christian University. Smith, a lefty, 6'9", 240. Drafted by the Chicago Cubs in the 38th round of the 2017 MLB draft. So far this summer, 1-4 record, 7.02 earned run average. In 6 games, he has started all 6 of them, giving up 33 hits, walked 13, and struck out 31 in 24 and a third innings pitched. His last outing came in that 6-4 loss at Keene back on July 12th. He went 6 innings, gave up 6 runs, all of which were earned on 8 hits, walked just 2, and struck out 6. And he gave up 6 runs, but one was a deep home run, and he was pretty sharp the majority of the game. Just a couple of pitches got away from him, so he'll look to try to figure it out here against the Schooners. His only win came against Danbury, 23-5 back on June 18th. He went 5 1/3, 1 run, it was not earned, 6 hits, 1 walk, and 10 strikeouts. That is the season high for strikeouts for Smith. Now we will take you through the home lineup of your Newport Gulls. Leading things off here for Newport is Tim Tawa out of Stanford. He's in center field. Jack Gethings bats second, plays second from Fairfield, with Cody Hosey, the designated hitter from Tulane, batting third. Stevie Mangrum is in the cleanup hole out in right field from Virginia Tech, with Dalton Reed at first, batting fifth out of the University of Kentucky. Jason Gonzalez, the Vanderbilt Commodore, plays third and bats sixth, followed by Dylan Plew, who's out in left field from Washington State. Logan Harvey bats eighth. He is behind the dish. And in from Wake Forest. Jack Blumger, the shortstop out of Michigan, rounding out Newport's lineup, and they will take on Brett Clark, rising junior right-handed pitcher out of SUNY Stony Brook. Your umpires here at the ballpark. Will Bowers is behind home plate with Rich Sarney in the field at first and Tony Letizio at third base as your Gulls take the field here wearing, well, their electric Friday night uniforms, orange tops, white pants with Newport written in white across the chest, white numbers underneath. And they have some orange and blue piping down the side. The Schooners, they're wearing their blue tops with the gray pants with Schooners written in, what is that, Texas Longhorn orange across the chest with a couple of stripes on both arms, orange outlined on both sides with white. Newport is managed by Mike Coombs in his 12th season. Rob Bono is the manager of the Schooners, and at Cardines Field, we always have interesting field dimensions, so we will make sure we get them to you here. Down the left field line, 315. It's 365 to left center field, and to dead center, it's 395. That's the deepest part of the ballpark. It comes back into 315 in right center, right near that Island Tax Associates sign. And then in right field, it is 285. 28 feet high all the way around the fence. Newport leading the NECBL with 46 home runs, and the Schooners with 34. They are fourth, so we could see some long balls here tonight. But we'll just have to wait as we get you the weather. It is blowing out a little bit. 72 degrees, 0% chance of precipitation, 76% humidity with 11 mile-per-hour winds blowing from the south-southwest as usual off of Narragansett Bay. We may see some balls flying, but we also may not. It just depends on what you're going to get. And this far into the season, you know, everybody on the ball field can play. It depends on, you know, where they are mentally, I would say.
I think it's going to be a really fun game, and I think both teams really want to win as we get to this final stretch of the season. I know that the Schooners do. They want to make the playoffs. They want to make a push, and the way that the Newport Gulls have been playing recently, having defeated first-place Plymouth a couple times in the past week, that shows me that they're really into it, and I think mentally both teams are there. So this game is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be evenly matched, tightly contested all throughout. Could come down to the very end. And you know what? Newport, they just want to close that gap between them and the Schooners even more, and the Schooners want to hold them off. It's, 3-4 fighting for that last playoff spot, so it's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
And this will be a two-game switch, too. If Newport wins, they're just one game back. If they lose, it's 3, and that's a big difference with after only 10 games remaining in the season. Again, they will meet one more time on August 1st, the final matchup and the final game of 2018. Here's Sean Sullivan batting from the left side, lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch is a breaking ball in there for strike one. We're underway, 6:47 here on the East Coast. Time of first pitch in Newport, Rhode Island. Smith working from the windup, shakes off Harvey. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it just misses inside, 1-1.
Sean Sullivan is a very patient hitter at the plate. He's drawn 15 walks, lead the Schooners with a .458 on-base percentage, is hitting .273 with 3 runs batted in, 1 double.
1-1. That one's chopped right side. First baseman Reed has it, and he'll take it himself. It's a close play, but he's able to tap the bag right before Sullivan got there, 1 down.
Yeah, it was close. Sean Sullivan has some speed, and he displayed it right there. It was a little bit too off the bag for Reed, and Russell Smith wasn't really hustling over to cover in time. And nice job by Reed to get to first right in front of Sean Sullivan.
To the defensive alignment real quick for the Gulls. Jason Gonzalez at third. Jack Blumgren is the shortstop with Jack Gethings at second. Dalton Reed is at first. Outfield left to right. Dylan Plew, Tim Tawa, and Stevie Mangrum, with Logan Harvey catching the balls and strikes for Smith. Here's Brett Rodriguez from the right side. First pitch misses low.
Rodriguez jacked a 2-run home run at Ocean State last night in the third inning. He is batting .294, 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in, 6 doubles.
1-0. Thought about swinging, held up, but it's in there for strike one anyway, says Will Bowers. The Schooners batting .257 in 4 games against the Gulls this season. Here's the 1-1. Off speed, misses outside.
And Brett Rodriguez, this is his second game in a row in center field. He also plays shortstop for the Mystic Schooners, but with the emergence of Zach Ardito, he's kind of taken over that shortstop spot.
2-1 offering. Line down the right field line, sinking quickly, and it will get foul. as it hits off the warehouse there down the right field line. Not much room for Stevie Mangren, but he lucked out there. The count will move to 2 balls and 2 strikes. You see, there is no foul territory once you get past the scoreboard. Out down the right field line, it is just a brick wall, so Mangrum has to be careful, but he's done a great job the entire season figuring it out, and we've even had Nick Enright out there in right field, pitcher, and we've had Holden Powell, closer from UCLA, try and figure out right field. So it's been all man on deck lately as the 2-2 curveball misses low.
Well, it's kind of like playing left field at Fenway. You got to play it a lot differently than you would at any other ballpark, and it makes for some, interesting scenarios.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. That one hit on a line through the hole into left field. So 1-out single. Brett Rodriguez is on, and his success continues.
Yeah, Rodriguez continuing to stay hot. That was a hot shot right past the 5-6 hole into left field, so a 1-out single for Rodriguez. That's a good way to start it off for the Schooners.
They'll bring up Freddie Sabito. Sabito, 231 so far this season, 18 hits. He does have 5 doubles, 3 home runs, and 18 RBI. Batting from the left side, Smith from the stretch. First pitch swinging and fouled down the third baseline, out of play.
Sabito has a ton of pop. He may be the most, he can hit him longer than anybody else in the lineup probably, and all 3 of his home runs this year have been absolute moonshots.
2 teams that can swing it. Sabito with the all-blue bat. 0-1 pitch, nice breaking ball, catches the inside corner for strike 2.
Jonah Karp over at Ocean State loves Sabito's bat, comments on it every time.
I mean, you almost have to. It looks like a highlighter.
It does.
0-2 pitch, breaking ball, lined sharply foul down the first base line. Newport used to have nice blue bats and orange as well, especially last year when they had bats from Dream Bat Company, but they have Old Hickory this year. A little bit more traditional, but still very high quality pieces of lumber. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, curveball, just runs inside and brushes Sabito off the plate, 1-2. No score here, top of the first inning. Between the Schooners and the Gulls. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That one's clocked deep to left field. Plough going back to his left, backpedals and is able to make the play for out number 2.
Sabito a little bit behind that ball, still hit it very hard out to left field, but Dylan Plough able to get to the spot in time. It hung up just enough for the second out.
Yeah, Plough's done a very good job over there, and he got there so quickly he just had to start backpedaling by the time he got there, probably about 20 feet in front of the fence. We'll bring up Shane Kelly, rising sophomore out of Bryant. The designated hitter in today's ball game, bats from the right side. Rodriguez is off, but that one is fouled up behind home plate for strike 1, and he may have broke his bat.
Yeah, I think he did. He's going to go and get a new one, and that is probably the first time all season that I've seen Shane Kelly swing at the first pitch. He rarely does that, and he always gets a strike right down the middle, it seems, and I always think to myself, you should go hacking at the first pitch, and he did it right there. But Kelly has been coming around recently, hit his first home run of the season on Monday against the Ocean State Waves at home in the second inning. That was a 2-run shot. And then he got a single the next game against the Waves, had last night off. So Kelly has been coming around at the plate.
So far against Newport, in 3 games he is 2 for 16, or 2 for 10 rather, with a double. Trying to get something going. 2 outs, Rodriguez on first. Reed holding him on there. Still no score, top of the first inning. Smith working from the stretch. Gets the sign now from Harvey. Long pause. Couple looks at Rodriguez, and now time is called. So he's taking his time there, very deliberate.
Yeah, now that a man is on base, Russell Smith is definitely slowing it down. He was working really quick with no one on base, but Rodriguez on first base has a ton of speed. He's always a threat to go.
0-1 pitch. Here it is, and it misses low. Nice scoop from Harvey, but it's 1-1.
Brett Rodriguez leads the Schooners with 8 stolen bases this year. Has only been caught 4 times. Schooners as a team have stole 39 bases this year.
Newport only with 19. They don't run very much. You hit the long ball like they do. And now Smith will go to first, and Rodriguez is picked off, but we have a rundown between first and second. Reed flips it to Blumgren, who's trying to chase him down towards first, then he flips it to the covering. Smith is able to apply the tag for out number 3. Nice job there by the infield executing the rundown, and Newport is able to strand a runner after they pick off Rodriguez. No score. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. No scores. We head to the home half of the first. Tim Tawa, Jack Gethings, and Cody Hosey due up for the first time. They will face Brett Clark out of SUNY Stony Brook, the righty, rising junior. Newport's been swinging a hot bat as of late. They had their troubles, but in the last 5 games, .289 average, 52 hits, 32 runs, and 15 home runs. That's probably the biggest stat. Jumps out at the page. Jason Gonzalez has really come around. Dalton Reed has gotten hot once more. And Tim Tawa has been pretty much consistent the entire time he's been here, batting .360. That is first on the team. First pitch breaking ball misses outside, 1-0.
Well, Brett Rodriguez, the rising junior, 6'1", 195 righty, has an 0-1 record, ERA of .766 in 6 starts. Struck out 24 batters over 24 2/3, and he's walked 12 batters, given up 28 hits. His best start of the year was at Keene. He went 5 innings, gave up 1 earned on just 2 hits, and the Schooners ended up losing that game 8-7. So that was a tough break, getting the no decision for Clark.
Here's the 1-1. That one's cranked down the left field line, foul. Tawa just jumping all over that inside fastball. But no luck trying to even it out against the Schooners. Tawa's just batting .111. We talked about it earlier. He was robbed by Mike Wilson in that frustrating game. 1-2 pitch, off speed lined. One hopper towards the shortstop Ardito. Gloves it and throws the first one down.
Well, a nice play by Ardito. That one was line drive, took one hop to him. He fielded it perfectly and made a strong throw across the diamond.
Tawa is retired, and that'll bring up Jack Gethings. Rising senior out of Fairfield. Gethings adding .269. 28 hits, 4 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. He's been a guy that's been here from the very start. First pitch runs inside for ball 1. One of the most reliable players for Newport so far this season. Leads the team with 16 walks. 1-0, fouled down the left field line, out of play. And he's third for the Gulls with 22 runs, but a team that has had its troubles with fielding a middle infield, at least earlier on. Departure of Chris Cornelius, then Cole Austin. He's been there throughout. 1-1 fastball taken high for ball 2.
And Dave, the defense for the Schooners looks like this. Left to right in the outfield, Chris Dutra, Brett Rodriguez, and Steve Barmakian. Nano Santorelli is at third, Zach Ardito at short, Sean Sullivan at second, Freddie Sabito is at first, and it's Anthony Cruz doing the catching for Clark.
2-1 Clark misses high with the fastball, so 3 balls and 1 strike. No score here, bottom of the first inning. Nobody on, 1 out. Here's the 3-1 pitch, a hard ground ball up the middle, just to the right of the second baseman Sullivan. Rodriguez is there in center to cut it off, but it's a 1-out single for Jack Gethings. So similar start the Schooners had. Now the Gulls do it themselves.
And it's tough for the outfielders here on hard ground balls. The ball keeps rolling hard, and they take some weird hops out here in Cardines Field. So it was a nice job by Rodriguez to get to it. I think last time that we were here, which was only the second game of the season back on June 6th, a couple of balls got past the Schooners outfielders all the way to the fence, and Newport was able to take advantage.
Definitely tricky. 2 triangles you have to deal with. Also a light post that's in play, and 3 drains that are in center field on the ground. Cody Hosey takes ball 1 high from Brett Clark. Hosey first on the team with 34 hits. Tied for first with 9 doubles, and has 23 runs scored as well. That is second for the Newport Gulls. Another guy that's been here from the very beginning. 1-0, fastball just a little bit low. Now we'll move to 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, you can tell by Clark's face that he wasn't happy about that call. That's Will Bowers behind home plate, the umpire.
Just around the knees, would have been a very good pitch. 2-0 offering is in there for strike 1. Similar spot, maybe a little bit higher.
Yeah, it was a nice way for Clark to bounce back and get a strike over the zone. But a good hitter's count right now for Hosey.
Here's the 2-1. That's fouled straight back into the screen. Even things up at 2-2. Hosey, the designated hitter in today's ball game. Generally the third baseman for Mike Coombs. Last 5 games, he's batting .250. 4 hits, 3 runs, a home run, and 2 RBI. Clark working from the stretch. Here's the 2-2 ground ball. Third baseman Santarelli gloves it on the backhand. Goes to second for 1, and there will be no throw. As Sullivan held up there, but he did get Gethings on the 4th, and they're 2 down.
Great play by Nano Santarelli. That one was hit hard right down the third base line. Santarelli got down on his knees, backhand, spun around, threw to second base to Sean Sullivan covering to get the leadoff man out. So now 2 gone, run on first. Not a tough situation for Clark.
He'll have to deal with a dangerous Stevie Mangrum. Mangrum first on the team with 10 home runs. That is second in the NECBL. Tied for first with 34 hits. He's also got 22 RBI. First pitch, fastball, just outside, ball 1. We mentioned it in game 2. Top of the 11th inning, it was Zach Britton who had the double off the center field fence at the Shipyard, and then Stevie Mangrum putting it just 10 feet deeper. As that one is fouled straight back. He does strike out a good amount, 39 strikeouts, but an average of .354 with 10 home runs and 22 RBI. You take that. It's not like he's strikeout or home run. I mean, he is a consistent ball player.
Absolutely.
1-1 pitch, breaking ball low, ball 2.
Now you have an average in the high 300s. That's great. That's the type of player that you want.
Clark nods his head, gets the sign from Sullivan. Here's the pitch, and it misses high. 3-1. No score here, bottom of the first inning. And we have our guests on top of the warehouse down the right field line as usual. Right in front of the American flag there. They are getting comfortable in their Adirondack chairs, and why not? On a beautiful Friday evening. 3-1 pitch, fouled straight back, and that caught some wood off of old Cardines.
Beating up the ballpark.
You hear it. That's the first time we've seen wood chipped down this season.
I'm glad Dolan Reed didn't get hit. That was right next to him.
It's been close for a lot of people. I remember the Waves had a couple of times where they were on the on-deck circle, and they had to watch out. Both dugouts, of course, down the first base line. Newport closer to home. Here's the 3-2. Hosey is off, but that one's fouled out of play. Down the first base line, probably into West Marlborough Street, which closes in Cardines. Not much foul territory because of the street to the south and America's Cup Avenue to the west. Shadows about halfway between Sullivan and Clark. Pitcher and catcher. Here's the 3-2. Hosey is off. The curveball's waved and missed for strike 3. So Newport strands Cody Hosey and can't get a run across. Still no scores. We head to the top of the second inning right here on the Newport Gulls Network and the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the second inning here. Still no score. Russell Smith back out on the hill for Newport. He will take on Shane Kelly, Nano Santarelli, and Chris Dutra. Kelly had a 1-1 count after Brett Rodriguez was picked off. Nice run down there between Reed, Blumgren, and Smith to get over to first. First pitch misses outside, 1-0.
Rodriguez getting picked off in the first inning. Same exact thing happened yesterday. It was Sean Sullivan led off the inning with a walk in the first and got picked off.
1-0. Check swing on the outside pitch. He did not go around. 2 balls and no strikes.
And both times, too, it's not like, a traditional where they slide back and they tag him. Both times the runners got into pickles.
Was the pitcher a lefty? That's the question.
Yes.
2-0 pitch. That's waved and missed for strike 1. And oftentimes you see that when there's a lefty on the mound. If guys are thinking about stealing, they'll just go first move lefty and try and just beat it out if it is thrown to first. Make him execute a rundown. And Kelly is tied up on that high and inside fastball, and he went around for strike 2.
It was actually Steve Thetke who threw with the Schooners last year.
Newport has seen Thetke a few times. Actually saw him in his first outing of the summer at Old Mountain Field. 2-2 breaking ball high, ball 3. Kelly able to work a full count, the second full count that Russell Smith has had to face. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed for strike 3. First strikeout of the ball game for Russell Smith, and there's one down in the second.
Well, Russell Smith is looking solid so far. Just gave up the single to Rodriguez, but then he was picked off and a ground out and a fly out.
Nano Santarelli digging in. He has been the Achilles heel against Newport. He's just crushed the Gulls so far this season.
And you got to think that Rob Bono knows that because Nano usually bats first or second in the order.
First pitch, breaking ball, catching the inside corner for strike 1.
And tonight, he's down to 5th. So it's a spot for him to get some RBIs, which he actually leads the team in and is actually top 5 in the NECBL. He's got 28 runs batted in, 3 home runs, 10 doubles, which leads the team.
0-1 fouled into the netting, now 0-2. Mystics' best quality of their team, their pitching staff is good, 4.02 earned run average, that's 6th, but situational hitting, 274 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, 51 RBI. Just finding ways. Their average isn't great, but they're second in runs. 0-2 breaking ball in the dirt. He went around. Harvey tags him. Strike 3. 2 down here in the second.
Well, you said that the pitching staff, the team ERA is down to a 4.02, which you said is 5th. But the Schooners were second just about a week and a half ago with a 3.3 around there. So, the pitching has actually kind of dropped in the past week and a half.
They do have Kumar Nambiar out of Yale, but
he's going tomorrow, which will be huge.
Here's Dutra. First pitch swung on and missed. Newport lucky not to face Nambiar because he's been lights out against everybody he's faced this season and held Newport scoreless in that 2-0 loss at the Shipyard. 0-1. High fastball. That one hit him. Nope, maybe it tipped it. Something as it ricocheted out and Harvey chased it down. It'll be 1-1. He was able to just duck out of the way.
Well, Chris Dutra came in on Monday against the Ocean State Waves, got a pinch hit RBI single to give the Schooners the lead, and then he got a couple of hits the day after.
1-1 offering. Slider misses low, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Dutra is now batting .244 on the year with 1 home run, which was actually a grand slam to straightaway center at Alumni Field up in Keene. He's got 6 runs batted in, 2 doubles.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one's hit deep to left field. Plu going back at the track, at the fence, right up against the fence. He leaps up and he can't get it. It's in and out of his glove. Would have been a tough play. That'll be a 2-out double for Chris Dutra. But boy, Dylan Plu was close to climbing the wall.
That was hit sky high and could have been gone. It would have dropped literally right behind the fence straight down, but instead it dropped right in front of it, and Plu had a chance, leapt, couldn't make the grab, and then Chris Dutra on second base with a 2-out double. So let's see if the bottom half of the order can drive in Dutra.
Trying to get something going with 2 outs. Kelly struck out swinging. Santarelli struck out swinging. And now Dutra in scoring position. We talked about timely hitting for the Schooners, with Barmakey and Kindu batting from the left side. Smith takes a look at Dutra. Now goes to the plate. First pitch lifted, shallow left field. Shortstop Blumgren calling off Plu. And he'll reach up and make the catch. Plu was right there, but it's Blumgren who retires the side. Dutra left on second, no score here at Cardines Field as we head to the home half of the second inning right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We're through 1.5, still no score at Cardines Field. Dave Peck alongside Mike Majeski. It'll be Dalton Reed, Jason Gonzalez, and Dylan Plu up here to face Brett Clark for the first time. And I'd like to welcome in everyone listening across the country and across the pond. President of the Newport Gulls, Chuck Pava, is currently in Lisbon, Portugal, tuning into the NECBL Broadcast Network. So we have gone international for the 2nd straight game, which is a pretty cool thing. Owen Reed digs in. It lifts this one deep to right center field. Rodriguez going back all the way to the fence. He leaps up, and it's off the base of the wall. Dalton Reed is in there with a leadoff double. Similar play, just a different part of the ballpark.
Basically exactly what Chris Dutra did to left. This time Dalton Reed does it to right center, and Brett Rodriguez had a play. That one was a little bit out of the reach of his leap, and it drops for a leadoff double, and that's huge for the Gulls getting the leadoff double. When Chris Dutra did it, it came with 2 outs.
And that's Reed's 6th double of the season. Nice way to start here. Still no score, bottom of the second inning. Here comes Jason Gonzalez. Vanderbilt Commodore had 2 home runs on Wednesday night against the Plymouth Pilgrims. He's been swinging a hot bat. See what he can do here. First pitch fastball in there for strike 1. Gonzalez 5 for his last 23 home runs, 6 RBI. He had a slow start, but he's gained a lot of confidence right at the time Newport needs him most. Clark from the stretch. 0-1 delivery, misses low. Playing third base today. He's kind of swapped with Hosey between third and designated hitter ever since Dalton Reed established himself as a first baseman with the exit of Zach Britton. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Curveball fouled sharply down the first baseline.
Well, it's a 1-2 count right now, and we'll see how Brett Clark does after giving up the leadoff double. It would be big to get Gonzalez out without advancing Reed to third base.
As a team, Newport in the leadoff spot batting .338, 14 home runs, 27 walks. Here's the 1-2. Another curveball, and Gonzalez was jammed up. He went around for strike 3, second strikeout of the ball game for Brett Clark. Just fooled there.
That's big for Brett Clark. Great pitch, off speed. Gonzalez, as you said, tied up, had no answer, and that's a big first out.
Corner work pass, the Dalton Reed leadoff double. Here is Dylan Plew, who leads the team with 9 doubles. He does have 1 long ball as well, batting from the left-handed batter's box. Here's the first pitch, breaking ball in the dirt. Nice stop by Sullivan, and it's 1-0. He's batting .243, 26 hits, 7 RBI. He's only struck out 16 times, so he puts the ball in play. Also has 2 stolen bases for a team that doesn't run too much. 1-0, another off-speed pitch, misses low, 2-0. Flew out of Washington State. He had a great season for the Cougars this past spring. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball, misses inside. So 3 straight balls here from Brett Clark.
And Clark definitely slows down the pace when he has somebody on base.
Similar to Smith when Rodriguez was on first. Blue trying to break this 0-0 tie. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Fastball right down the middle for strike 1.
Yeah, taken all the way was Plew, but now he's got a great hitter's count. A golden opportunity right now to drive in Dalton Reed, make it 1-0 Newport Gulls in the second inning.
Blue with runners in scoring position, 259. 6 RBI. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Breaking ball, check swing, and it's in there for strike 2. So nice job here from Clark, battling all the way back.
Well, Clark went with the breaking ball to strike out Gonzalez. We'll see what he does against Plew. The off-speed has definitely been working for Brett Clark.
Yeah, he's been really keeping Newport hitters a little bit off balance, guessing a little bit here. A lot of check swings early on. Only in the bottom of the second. That breaking ball has been key. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Curveball hit on the ground. Third baseman Santarelli gloves it, takes a look at second, then goes to first for out number 2.
Well, that is perfect right there for Clark. Gives up the leadoff double. Strikeout looking. Ground ball over to third base. Nice play by Santarelli. Now 2 gone. Just 1 more to go to get out of the mini jam.
And here is Logan Harvey. Harvey with 17 RBI so far this season. He had 5 RBI in that 11-9 comeback win. At one point, Newport was down 9-2 in that ball game. And he had a bases clearing RBI double with 2 outs. First pitch is lifted high into the infield, left side. Santarelli, the third baseman, settling under it, having some trouble, and it drops. That one will be an error on Nano Santarelli. Dalton Reed able to advance to just third on the play, but runners on the corners now with 2 outs.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that he's only at third. That ball hung up there for a long time. There's 2 outs. You got to be off on contact, running as hard as you can to the plate.
Definitely a tough bid there. He was on second with, a couple gone. You're right. Now we'll look for Jack Blumgren to pick him up here. Batting in the 9-hole, shortstop out of Michigan. Righty-righty matchup. First pitch, lined into left field. That'll get down for a single. Dalton Reed scores, and it's 1-0, Newport on top.
Tough break for Nano Santarelli and Brett Clark more so, because he should have been out of the inning right there without a run across, and all of a sudden the error brings in the run, and 1-0 Newport.
Jack Blumgren coming through, and he has really been good lately. Back on July 16th, that Monday night game against the Pilgrims, he had the go-ahead RBI single in the bottom of the 8th inning after the Pilgrims came all the way back and took a 9-8 lead. Some production from the bottom of the lineup, flips it, and now here's Tim Tawa. First pitch breaking ball, foul down the third baseline.
That Plymouth game was wild because I was checking, and I was like, all right, this is great. Newport's beating them. We're going to climb closer to first place. And then all of a sudden I look away for a few minutes, and Plymouth is right back in the game beating you guys. I think at one point it was tied or something. I was, oh, no, what's going on? Then I turned it on, and you guys were able to hang on, so that was good.
0-1 fouled straight back, now 0-2 on Tim Tawa. It was wild. Nate Ryder came in the top of the 8th inning after Mike Kirian struggled a little bit, and Riley Helland out of the 2-hole hit a grand slam off of Ryder, a guy who's been lights out, leads the NECBL with 8 saves. But really the thing of that game was Ryder came out in the 9th and was able to shut the door. 0-2 breaking ball. That one's in there for strike 3. Tawa can't believe it, but there are 3 down, and that'll end the inning here in the second. Third strikeout of the ball game for Clark. But Newport strikes first, 1-0 off the RBI single from Jack Blumgren. We'll head to the third here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the third inning here, 1-0 Newport on top. Russell Smith back on the hill. Will face Sullivan, Ardito, and Sean Sullivan, 8, 9, and 1, part of the Schooners lineup. So a break for Newport there. Santarelli couldn't handle the pop fly, basically right to him. I mean, the shadows are creeping across the field from left to right. Possibly sun involved, but really on the left side of the infield, there shouldn't be much trouble. I think it was just hit so high, he just lost it.
Yeah, and you got to make that catch. It was tough. You could tell that he was having problems with it when the ball was in the air the whole time, because he was, backing his way to the spot, wasn't sure where he was, and then it just dropped. So a tough break for Brett Clark and Santarelli.
First pitch to Sullivan is a fastball in there for strike 1. Sullivan, 245 hitter, 23 hits, 5 doubles, 2 home runs, and 16 RBI. 0-1, waved and missed for strike 2. There's actually Anthony Cruz, who is in the ball game. So no balls and 2 strikes on Cruz. 333 hitter. Here's the pitch. That one reached at line, foul down the first baseline, out of play.
Well, Anthony Cruz splits time in the catcher position with Nick Cartieri and Matt O'Neill, but Anthony Cruz has only appeared in 11 games, leads the team with a 333 batting average.
0-2 fouled straight back.
And he's only struck out 3 times in 39 at-bats this year. He definitely puts the ball in play. He's also walked just 5 times, so he's going to put the ball in play. That's what he does.
Here's the pitch. Off-speed changeup misses well outside 1 and 2.
And Cruz, oddly enough, has never DH'd for the Schooners, despite leading the team in batting average. Has a 409 on-base percentage.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one is lined into shallow right field. Mangrum going into his left. Makes the catch, 1 down. So nice start here for Russell Smith. He's gotten the leadoff man out in each of these first 3 innings, something that Newport historically this season has struggled with. Owens batting .333 versus the Gulls, but that number came down sharply after both wins against the Pilgrims earlier this week. Here's Zach Ardito from the right side. Takes a fastball in there for strike 1 on the inner third.
And Ardito got a solo home run last night at Ocean State. I'm not sure it was borderline if it would have been over the fence or not, but it actually tipped off of the center fielder's glove and went over the fence as he was trying to make a play. But Ardito is hitting .250, 2 home runs on the year, 8 runs batted in, 1 double, 7 runs scored.
Smith working from the windup. Here's the 1-1 offering. breaking ball runs outside, 2-1.
Ardito kind of an old school player, no batting gloves. And I can't confirm this, but I think he runs his own maple syrup business.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Impressive. Waves through the 1-2 pitch, or the 2-1 pitch rather. Even things up at 2-2. Break even pitch lined into right center field. Mangrum going into his right. He catches it for out number 2. So Mangrum joining the first 2 putaways here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Russell Smith looking solid. You know, he gave up a hit in each of the first 2 innings. A couple flare outs to right field this time to retire the 8-9 batters, but now it's back to the top of the lineup, so we'll see if the Schooners can get a 2-out rally going.
John Sullivan started out the game grounding out to Dalton Reed. First pitch breaking ball in there for strike 1 at the knees. Ardito from Connecticut.
Yep.
Making maple syrup. Fastball well inside.
Some of the stuff he says on the bus is a little wild. He's out there.
Which is fair.
Yeah. From Ansonia, Connecticut.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball. One hopper towards Gethings at second. Scoops it up. Wings it to first. A 1-2-3 inning for Russell Smith. 1-0 still. Newport on top as we get to the bottom of the 3rd right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Midway through the 3rd here. 1-0 Gulls on top, and we'll send things over to Newport Gulls field reporter Joe DeLeon for a look around the league.
Thank you, Dave. We got a lot of close ball games here in the NECBL. The first being the Vermont Mountaineers taking on the Winnipesaukee Muskrats. It's the bottom of the 2nd where they 5-3 lead for the Mountaineers. As far as the other games going on, bottom of the 4th, Ocean State Waves currently holding 1-0 lead over the Plymouth Pilgrims. Valley Blue Sox in the top of the 3rd are up on the Sanford Mainers 1-0. Bottom of the 4th, Upper Valley Nighthawks 1-0 also over the North Adams Steeplecats. And then finally out in New Bedford, bottom of the 3rd, 0-0 game against the Keene Swamp Bats. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Joe. That Waves-Pilgrims matchup. We'll be keeping an eye on that the entire night. Still a week and a half, 11 games left, 10 after this one, but boy, is it close right now. Plymouth, a half game up on Ocean State for the top spot. Mystic just a half game behind Ocean State for the 2nd spot, and Newport 2 games back of the Schooners. Making this game very important. Got things facing Clark for the 2nd time. Takes ball 1 low.
So I'm rooting for Ocean State, and then tonight against Plymouth, and I just want as much chaos as possible in this final week. I want it to come down to the last day.
1-0 pitch, runs well inside. 2 balls and no strikes here to Jack Gethings. He's singled back in the 1st inning. Yeah, I mean, it probably will. New Bedford right in as well. 2-0 misses high.
A big game for them at Keene tonight, trying to stay on pace with everybody else. And then, yeah, Danbury with the night off. They're the only NECBL team tonight with the day off.
3-0 pitch, and it misses inside. A 4-pitch walk. Jack Gethings is aboard for the 2nd time with a leadoff walk from Brett Clark. New Bedford is just a half game behind Newport right now. So the Bay Sox and the Gulls still have 2 meetings left. They'll both come next week.
That's huge. And, you know, the Bay Sox they're a good hitting team. They got Rafe Chalmette, best hitter in the league, D3 guy.
Cody Hosey takes ball 1 low. And why not? D3, you know, you have a chip on your shoulder. Maybe you come in here facing a lot of guys from big conferences, and you have something to prove. 1-0 pitch. That one inside out swing. Ground ball. Sullivan at second. Flips it to Ardito for 1. On to first. Double play. 4-6-3. And there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Perfectly executed by Sullivan and Ardito. And walk the leadoff man. Clean it all up with a nice 4-6-3 double play.
It's exactly what you want from Clark after allowing that run last inning. A run that should not have crossed. Had Santorelli been able to catch the ball off the bat of Logan Harvey. So here's Stevie Mangrum with nobody on and 2 out. First pitch breaking ball misses inside.
Yeah, just to go back to that, Chalmette out of Trinity, Texas in the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference, batting .402 for the Bay Sox.
1-0 pitch, lined into left field. That'll get down right in front of Dutra, who fields it on the hop, but it's a 2-out single for Stevie Mangrum.
There's been a few 2-out hits in this ballgame. Last inning, Harvey and Blumgren both reached error and then a single. And last inning, the 1 run for the Gulls came with 2 gone, so you never know. It could happen again.
Here's Dalton Reed. He doubled off the right center field wall on the first pitch of his last at-bat, but he takes a curveball in there for strike 1. Reed, his past spring at Seminole State Junior College, now committed to Kentucky. 0-1 pitch, outside, ball 1. Made a few adjustments here with hitting coach Greg Grawl. They've showed that one runs inside and low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Chokes up on the bat always, especially with Wood, because he hurt his hand once when he was jammed up on a pitch. So he choked up so the knob just doesn't cut into it. Also a very open stance. Here's the 2-1 pitch, fouled into the glove of Cruz, and it's 2-2.
Well, you see some guys just completely, put their hand around the knob, and some guys don't want anything to do with it. It's all about a comfort factor.
Clark working from the stretch. Here's the break-even pitch, and it's hit deep to center field. Rodriguez goes back, looks up, and it is well out of here. A 2-run shot for Dalton Reed, his 9th home run of the season. It's 3-0, Newport on top.
I didn't even see that one go into the tree in dead center. I think it went over that tree, and that was a long shot, no doubt about it. And just like that, as you said, 3-0 Newport. Tough break for Brett Clark, and second straight inning that a run has come with 2 outs.
The home runs continue to fly here for the Newport Gulls. 47th of the season for the team. That is first in the league, and 2-out hitting has been the story in this one. That one was out of here in a hurry. Now with 9 home runs on the season. Here's Jason Gonzalez. First pitch outside, ball 1.
Yeah, Reed closing in on Bernie Wang from the Winnipesaukee Muskrats for the NECBL lead. And Wang had that stretch of 9 home runs in, 6 games? And he's been stuck at 11 for about 2.5 weeks.
1-0 pitch. Foul down the right field line. Sabito, the first baseman, going towards foul territory, but it's Sullivan who can't make the catch. It lands fair. Gonzalez trying to get into second. The throw goes over Ardito. We'll see what they want to rule that. That is an error on Sean Sullivan, and Gonzalez is now in scoring position.
That's just a mess. I mean, someone's got to take control, call people off. It looked like from here that nobody did that. Sabito was there, Sean Sullivan was there, and Barbmakian was there, and they all just kind of ran into each other and weren't sure who was going to make the play, and then it just drops, and another runner on. Another tough break for Brett Clark.
That'll bring up Dylan Plew. He's 0 for 1, grounded out to Santorelli at third for out number 2 last inning. Newport relentless here, just keeping the pedal down, trying to add to this 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. First pitch to Dylan Plew, misses low and inside. You wonder if Sun was involved. Right side of the infield, not yet covered in shadows, and it was a very tough play, almost right in front of the scoreboard, so they had to look out for the corner of the warehouse. But an error nonetheless. 1-0 pitch, fastball outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, your friends up there on top of the warehouse definitely got the best view of exactly what happened over there.
If we could only give them a microphone,
that'd be awesome.
They would be our field reporters on top of the warehouse. I've always wanted to have somebody go up there, hang out with them, and just interview them a little bit. As the 2-0 is ripped down the right field line, fair all the way to the corner. Gonzalez rounding third. He will score. Plew trying to make it a double. He dives in safely. 4-0 Newport.
Man, Newport just does not want to go home. They want to make it as interesting as possible, this playoff race. They want to climb in there for the last spot, or the way things are going, they still got a chance for first place, and I think they know that. And the Schooners right now and Brett Clark just need to bear down and get this final out and try to get some runs back.
Newport 223 with runners in scoring position, 2 outs with 48 RBI. That number has gone up to 51. Jack Gethings led off with the walk, then Hosey grounded the 4-6-3 double play, as there's going to be a meeting here on the mound. The entire infield coming in, but after that 4-6-3 double play, you thought it was going to be a quick inning for Brett Clark, and then Stevie Mangrum with the single. Dalton Reed, who's been, we've said it continuously, but he's been just stroking the ball. He's gone pull side to right center field basically for the majority of his hits. That one was cranked dead center field, 395 with a 28-foot fence. And then Gonzalez reaching on the air, the wacky play down the right field line. He was able to make it all the way to second base, and then Dylan Plew turning on an inside fastball, roping it right down the right field line into the corner.
The 2-out hitting just continues for Newport. That's been the story of their offense in this game. And also some defensive mistakes by the Schooners as well to let it happen.
Already 2 errors in the ball game. Not helping the cause. Free bases against the Schooners has been a problem lately. Harvey fouls the first one on top of the Newport dugout in foul territory for strike 1. Our cameraman Dan Byford almost got hit on that one.
Ooh.
He'll toss it back to Tim Tawa. A lot of fans were looking for a souvenir.
He just left a lot of fans disappointed.
Well, you know, Dan's all business. You know, that's $4 for a pearl.
Oh, man.
0-1 pitch, breaking ball lifted deep to left field. Dutra going back all the way to the fence, and he's able to make the catch right at the wall to retire the side. But Newport is able to get 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, 1 runner left on base. It's 4-0 Gulls after 3. We'll head to the 4th right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Four to nothing. Top of the 4th inning, Newport with the lead. Dalton Reed with his 9th home run of the season gives Russell Smith a little bit of his insurance that he can work with. His only win came in a 23-5 beatdown over the Danbury Westerners. So he likes pitching with the lead, as does any arm who's on the hill. For the middle innings of play-by-play, we'll send it over to the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Mike Majeski.
Thanks so much, Dave. And boy, that saxophone in that ad gets me fired up.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
It's the best. Brett Rodriguez, Freddie Sabito, Shane Kelly due up. This is 2, 3, 4 in the order for the Mystic Schooners. And as you said, Russell Smith has been dealing tonight. Has only given up 2 hits. One to Rodriguez, who got a 1-out single past the 5-6 hole into left field back in the 1st inning. Counts 0-1. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Now it's quickly 0-2 as it's actually foul tipped into the mitt. But Rodriguez has really been swinging the bat. 294 coming into today. He has 33 hits on the year. Was sidelined for about a week and a half. He got hit by a pitch against Plymouth in a doubleheader. It's great to have him back in the lineup. Smith delivers this one chopper over to first base. Making the play is Dalton Reed, and he steps on just in time to retire the Speedy Rodriguez for the 1st out.
Story for Newport when they've been in the field, getting the first man out. Now 4 straight times. I can't remember the last time this happened. Maybe Jake Eater against the Schooners in that 2-0 loss, but even then, this is unusual, and it's a nice sight to see for Mike Coombs, who has a limited bullpen as it is.
First pitch on the way to Freddie Sabito, fouled straight back. And yeah, you were talking about Russell Smith coming in with an ERA of 7.03, so this has to be one of his best appearances that he's had all year. Sabito lines this one to deep right field, and it is going to just go foul over the warehouse. Maybe even staying on top of there. No, a kid's going to see exactly where it went up there.
Oh, I'm sure he'll find it. There's actually a back portion of the warehouse, kind of a lower portion, more towards the corner there. Maybe not as great a view, but still.
Yeah.
You'll deal with it.
For sure. But the count's quickly 0-2, and here comes the pitch, and Sabito just gets a piece of it, chops it straight back toward Shane Kelly, who's waiting on deck, and we'll do it again at 0-2.
Yeah, Smith just has all the Schooners on their front foot right now. I mean, Sabito did crank that one down the right field line, but on the breaking ball, he was way out in front and was lucky to get a piece of it.
Smith looks in, the big lefty delivers. Sabito grounds it foul, first base side. We'll do it again at 0-2, and Sabito's 0 for 1 on the day. He lined out to left field to Dylan Plew, who made a nice catch, and Sabito was a little behind on that pitch back in the 1st inning.
See if he goes slider outside.
0-2, swing and a miss. Got him on the breaking ball, and Sabito is down 2 quick outs for Smith.
Yep, that's exactly what you got to do there. I mean, you see a guy who's been pulling the ball. A couple of times you got away with one maybe, but he just dumps it there, and Sabito just can't reach that one.
So here comes Shane Kelly, the DH tonight. He swung and missed for strike 3 back in the second inning, 0 for 1. And Russell Smith looking for his third 1-2-3, or fourth, excuse me. He had an unconventional 1-2-3 in the first when Brett Rodriguez was picked off. Had a couple flyouts and a ground out in the third, and now a ground out and a strikeout in the fourth. Would be the third. This one foul tipped into the mitt, and it's 1-1 to Shane Kelly. 2 gone here, top of the fourth inning. 4-0 Newport Gulls over the Schooners. Russell Smith works very quickly with nobody on base, delivers that pitch right at the letters, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Smith, he has all the tools, 6'9", TCU, I mean, and he throws hard with a nice slider. We've seen that today.
1-2 misses outside. The Schooners have had trouble against tall pitchers. It was Buddy Hayward for the New Bedford Bay Sox, stands at 6'7". He threw 7 no-hit innings against Mystic. 1-2 on the way. Low and inside. That was the 2-2. Now it's full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So a good at bat by Shane Kelly to work the count full.
Smith had a 3.35 ERA for the Horned Frogs. Made 11 starts. That was second most on the team.
Here comes the full count pitch. Up high, and Kelly works a 2-out walk, so he becomes the first base runner since the second inning. First walk issued by Russell Smith, and Kelly gets on for the first time tonight.
Well, when Smith has struggled, walks have been a part of it. He had 4 in that loss to North Adams. He had 3 at New Bedford in just 4 and 1/3 and 4 innings respectively. Lately, he's gotten a little bit better at control here. And first walk in the 4th, that's not too bad.
First pitch to Nano Santarelli on the outside corner. For a called strike 1, Santarelli struck out swinging, also back in the second inning, and this is the guy right now for the Schooners to move Kelly into scoring position. Leads the team with 10 doubles on the year and 28 runs batted in. He's batting .267 coming into today. Usually the leadoff or second, batted 9th in one game. Let's move back to the 5 hole. And here comes the pitch, low and outside. Nice job to scoop it up by Logan Harvey, keeping Kelly on first base. And the count's 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 gone here. Top 4, 4-0 lead for the Gulls.
Santarelli with 6 RBI against Newport. That is the most for any Schooner against the Gulls. 6 hits, a double, and a home run.
Smith is ready. The 2-1 pitch on the way is skied foul. Straight back, it hits off the netting. So the count is now even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Nice crowd here at Cardines Field. Friday night. Very large crowd on Wednesday night. 2,828, I believe.
Wow.
Possibly the biggest of the season.
Smith taking his time, gives a look over toward Kelly at first and delivers. And this one just got a piece of it by Santarelli, fouls it straight back, keeps the count 2-2. When we were at Mackenzie Stadium just about a week ago, they had 3,000 plus, which is kind of wild.
They fill the park there.
They do.
They fill the park.
2-2, called strike 3. Russell Smith with 2 more strikeouts in the inning. Schooners strand Shane Kelly on first base, who walked, but a clean inning nonetheless for Russell Smith, and it's still 4-0 Newport Gulls. We head to the bottom of the 4th at Cardines Field. We'll be back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We head into the bottom of the 4th inning, and it's going to be the 9-1-2 batters due up for the Newport Gulls. That's Jack Blumgren, Tim Tawa, and Jack Gethings. First pitch on the way from Brett Clark is in there for a called strike 1. And Newport really got into Clark last inning. A 2-run home run off the bat of Dalton Reed to straightaway center, and then Dylan Plew with a 2 RBI double. As this one broken bat, grounded over to Ardito at short. Ardito scoops and fires in time for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, nice pitch there from Clark, able to get Blumgren on his front foot. He just kind of hit it off the end of the bat there. But how about Blumgren with the 2-out RBI single? He's had a number of timely hits lately. Up and down this lineup, Newport is starting to come around.
Yeah, that was right after Logan Harvey reached on the air. So an unearned run for Clark, which was tough. Clark moving quickly. First pitch to Tim Tawa is upstairs. Tawa checked his swing, did not go around, so the count's 1 ball, no strikes. Tim Tawa, the leadoff man, 0 for 2 with a ground out and strikeout. And lucky for him, Mike Wilson has the night off because the last time, or it was the time before that, these two teams faced each other. Mike Wilson absolutely robbed Tawa of a 3-run home run.
It was the 2-0 loss. The only extra base hit for Newport was Jason Gonzalez, who had a double. This is a team that leads the league in slugging percentage at .472.
This one fouled off, and that 3-run shot would have been the difference, and Newport would have came away with the victory. But Mike Wilson, definitely one of the best outfielders in the NECBL for sure.
Now you see Tim Tawa has new Nike batting gloves here. Trying to get a better grip. A couple of nights ago, 2 times the bat flew out of his hands and it got stuck in the netting down the third base line.
I saw that. I was watching. That was crazy. This one grounded over to third off the glove of Santarelli. It's going to go down as a single. Tough play for Nano having to get down, but a 1-out single for Tim Tawa.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, Tawa didn't get the piece that he wanted. It was just kind of in the right spot, and Santarelli had to try and make a tough play to his left, just off his glove.
But yeah, talk about the bats getting stuck in the net. I was watching, and I saw it stuck. I didn't see the first one happen, and I was like, what are the odds of that? Then they, panned out, and then you saw the other one still up there.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on here?
It was stuck there the night after, and I believe it was a lightning storm.
Wow, runner is off. Throw down from Anthony Cruz is not in time. Stolen base for Tim Tawa. Runner in scoring position with 1 gone for the Gulls, and that pitch was a ball to Gethings.
Tim Tawa continues to be aggressive on the base pass. Now 8 stolen bases. He leads the Gulls, and that's the 20th stolen base for Newport.
Yeah, he almost has half of them.
Yeah, just about.
So he's the only guy that, that runs pretty much.
Britton had 5. He has exited.
1-0 pitch on the way. This one misses low in the dirt, and it's 2-0. Gethings having himself a nice day. He singled back in the first and walked in the third.
But Tawa said it's because it's so humid here in Newport. The batting gloves that were all sweaty, they weren't drying overnight, and that's why he was losing the grip on it. He actually ended up giving me one of the bats that was in the screen.
Nice. Still intact, not broken or anything?
It had a little bit of a splinter at the end, just around the barrel, but I think it was still usable.
Yeah, that's fine. That's awesome. Counts 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch on the way. This one just catches the outside part of the plate, and it's even 2-2.
Yeah, nice pitch there. But a good take from Gethings. Doesn't want to help him.
Clark looking for a clean inning. Gave up 1 run in the second, 3 in the third. Allowed a single in the first, but no runs came across for Newport in that inning, and Anthony Cruz is going to come out and have a chat with his pitcher.
He's up to 67 pitches through 3 1/3 innings, 40 strikes, 27 balls. Newport, a team that battles hard, sees a lot of pitches. We know that from when we go to the shipyard, the amount of foul balls that go into the woods over at Fitch High School. Almost breaking the record.
Almost 3 away. That was a fun night. Comes the pitch. This one bounces away from Cruz. Going to go down as a wild pitch, and advancing to third goes Tim Tawa, and the count runs full.
Yeah, easy advance there from Tawa. That puts the sacrifice fly in play here from Gethings. Really, as a lefty, too, if he can pull it to the right side of the infield deep, as long as it's to Sullivan Ardito in the middle. Chance for Tawa to score on the ground.
Full count pitch. This one grounded sharply over to second base, and eating it up is Sullivan. Throw to first is in time, but the run comes across and scores on the RBI ground out by Jack Gethings, and it's now 5-0 Newport Gulls in the bottom of the 4th.
Nice job there, just doing whatever it takes to scrape together runs. Some long balls now, manufacturing a little bit, but good hustle by Gethings to make that close. It was half a step.
It really was, and it was a tough play for Sean Sullivan, having to go all the way to his left into the outfield grass. He bobbled it a little bit, and a nice job by him to recover and make the throw in time. But now Cody Hosey to the plate, nobody on base. He's going to rip this one to deep left field. Back goes Dutra at the fence, and can't make the play. I think it hit off of the tree. I see some foliage dropping, and that's a ground rule double. Am I correct?
That hit the tree. You could see a leaf falling. And now Mike Coombs wants a conversation. The ground rules as it states, I believe that is technically a home run if it hits any part of the tree.
Oh, man, that's tough.
As long as it's above the fence line. So, I mean, it's a tough angle for them to see. You know Mike Coombs is going to appeal it anyways because why would you not?
Yeah.
Some of the branches do overhang. Impossible to tell from our angle.
And he's talking with the umpires. I think he's talking with Tony Letizio right now, but now they're going to get all of the guys together. Yeah, you can't tell. I just saw the ball go up, and then I saw some leaves drop.
You always ask, though. Just always ask.
They just got to make sure.
And you gotta, just make sure the umpires know that you're there. Put your opinion in. Maybe you'll get a call later in the game, but make them talk a little bit. If it's going to hit off just a leaf, you can't. you have to assume that that didn't affect the flight of the ball.
Right.
When it hit off the leaf, it still bounced in play, which means that it didn't hit part of the tree where it was
home
over
run.
the
They
fence.
just ruled it a home run.
Wow. Wow, so that's why you appeal it. 7th home run for Cody Hosey.
That's wild. So I guess the ruling is if it hits the tree, it's a home run above the fence, which it had to have been because the leaves, for the most part, are above the fence. I think it was up there. And now Rob Bono is coming out not too thrilled about the call.
And this is how the end of the season gets even more interesting. I'll say that much. These two teams just separated by 2 games. Close Southern Division matchup. We saw Mike Coombs get ejected from the game back at Fitch Heights School in that 16-1 loss for the Gulls. He came out to argue some call, believe it was about one of the Schooners maybe running.
Yes, it was. And he was mad at the first base coach.
Tension's boiling.
He was going to go fight him, and then the umpire had to get in between them.
But another 2-out RBI.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's been the story of the game.
And another Newport home run.
Yeah, Dalton Reed and Cody Hosey with long balls tonight. And 6-0 Newport. Still 2 gone, and now Stevie Mangrum to the plate is 1 for 2 with a single. And that's the first time that I can remember, like you talk about all the weird rules and dimensions, that it's actually come in play since I've been here. 1-1, foul back, and the count's 1-2.
We definitely both saw the leaf.
Yes.
Kick off. It's just so interesting. There's a huge cutout of the fence there for the tree right next to Mike Coombs' abode.
1-2, called strike 3. So 2 runs in the inning. RBI ground out for Jack Ethings, and then Cody Hosey with one of the strangest home runs you'll ever see. Hits off of a tree. The ball bounced back into play, but it was over the fence, so that is a home run, and it's 6-0 Newport Gulls. We're going to head to the top of the 5th at Cardines on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We go into the top of the 5th inning. Chris Dutra, Steve Barmakian, and Anthony Cruz due up. That's 6, 7, 8 in the order. 6-0 Newport Gulls. And Chris Dutra has been having a hard time out there in left field. One ball earlier in the game where he had to leap, couldn't make the play, and then the home run. And I think I just read his lips. He was talking to one of the coaches for the Gulls, and he said, that wasn't a home run. But by ruling, of course it is. And the first pitch on the way to Dutra just misses for ball 1. Dutra 1 for 1 with a double back in the second. He was stranded there.
Boy, we see some weird things here at Cardines Field. Talking with Quinn Kelly of the Pilgrims, and a lot of mysterious goings on at Cardines.
The 1-0 misses outside. It's 2-0.
When the bats both flew out and both got stuck in the net, that was something. But around 8:30 every game, as long as it's not overcast, a lot of trouble on fly balls.
This one is lined down the left field side into the netting, so the count 2 balls and 1 strike.
We always mention it, but Zach Hogeson, the center fielder for Newport for the first 3/5 of the season, talked about how the sun sets, you have the lights that turn on, and it's very hard to see.
Low and outside. They checked to see if he went around. No, he did not. So the count 3 balls, 1 strike. Good hitters count for Chris Dutra. Here comes Smith. He's ready. Dutra fouls it straight back, and now the count is full.
It was crazy because we had him in the booth. We were talking while the game was going on, asking him about how you play a ball hit to right center field off the triangle. How do you play the carom? He explained it. It happened. Basically 2 pitches later while he was in the booth.
3-2, swing and a miss, and Russell Smith with another strikeout, make it 5 for him.
His off speed has been working. You talk about Clark, but also Smith. With a 6-run lead, this is when he's at his best. Not surprising, but it's definitely good to see.
Here's Steve Barmakian. And that's awesome. I feel like Quinn is the perfect guy to have with you when weird stuff is going on.
Yeah. Because he's always got a very, very good perspective.
He does.
It's always interesting. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth. Keeps you on your toes. That's what it's all about.
The 1-0 to Barmakian, fouled straight back. One of the favorite sayings he said was silky mitts.
Never heard that.
Yeah.
Is that just a guy who's making a good play, soft hands?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess that was a player on the Pilgrims last year. That was his nickname. And it just kind of stuck, and now, Quinn lets it roll when a nice play is made. Silky mitts.
I mean, he's a seasoned veteran. Not as much as you, seasoned veteran in the NECBL, but you guys have seen some things. All your years.
Mike Lord, myself, and Quinn, the longest guys in the league, which is kind of crazy to think about. 1-2, called strike 3. 6 strikeouts for Russell Smith, back-to-back to start off the top of the 5th.
There it is. It's the slider, especially on lefties. It's very tough, and it actually ended on the outside corner. A lot of movement to it. Not as much as Chris Sale, but a lot of movement on the lefty slider.
I don't think anyone is as much as Chris Sale. Anthony Cruz, he flared out to right field his last time up. First pitch swinging, goes right through it. The count's 0-1, so 2 gone, top 5, 6-0 goals.
He just kind of chopped at that one. Downward trajectory on his bat path.
Here comes the 0-1, and this one bounces. Anthony Cruz, not a power hitter. He's a guy that's just going to get you a base hit. He was actually joking around in the dugout saying, I'm going to stop lifting weights because there's no point. I'm not going to take one out of the park. 1-1 misses inside. Counts 2-1.
You can always run into one.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Dylan Plu's not a home run hitter. I'm not going to take that away from him, but he has one in the year.
Steve Barmakian hit his first ever collegiate home run at Plymouth, and this one foul tipped into the mid. It's 2-2.
I asked Plu, I said, are you a home run hitter? He said, well, I mean, what do the stats say? I have one, don't I?
I am now.
I said, fair enough.
Here comes the 2-2. Outside on a breaking ball, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Plu had 1 at Washington State, and so far 1 this NECBL season, so he's doing just enough to stay in the conversation.
That's right. 3-2. Chopper, third base. And getting to it is Gonzalez. The throw not in time. Anthony Cruz with a lot of speed, but it did look like Jason Gonzalez was kind of just hanging around, letting the ball come to him instead of making a hard charge.
Yeah, he was trying to time up the hop there, waiting for one that he could get, and it just took a little bit too long there with the speedy Cruz going down the first baseline. He had a quick transfer and a hard throw, just not enough.
Cruz kind of surprises you with the speed. He's, not the tallest guy, and he's a catcher, which you don't think of catchers being too fast, but Cruz is definitely speedy out there. Now here comes Zach Ardito. He flew out to right field his last time up. Got a solo home run at Newport last night and takes the first pitch inside for called strike 1.
We'll see if the Schooners can take advantage of that now.
0-1 on the way. This one is ripped hard into the left center field gap. Holding up at second is Cruz, and Zach Ardito has himself a 2-out single. So back-to-back base hits for the Schooners with 2 gone, and now runners on first and second for the top of the order.
Yeah, that's frustrating. The ground ball to Gonzalez, it ends up being a mistake, but it's not like he was just lazy on it. He was sitting back, but he was just trying to figure out the hop, and it ended up, being the wrong decision. But it's not like he was just standing there. You could see him trying to time it up.
Yeah, and you got to imagine that Gonzalez is very confident in his arm strength, able to throw out Cruz, but maybe underestimated his speed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Sean Sullivan. First pitch called strike one at the knees. Runners on first and second. Ardito at first. Cruz on second. Smith struck out Dutra and Barmakian to start off the inning. Trying to keep the 6-0 shutout alive. Comes the pitch. It's low and outside to Sullivan. And the count's even a ball and a strike.
Good job not biting on that from Sullivan. He thought about it, but he recognized that it was going to be well low.
Got a lefty-lefty matchup. Smith is ready. This one way outside. So the count 2-1. And it's kind of strange. Sean Sullivan, everybody asks me, because he's listed as a switch hitter on the roster. Never seen him hit right-handed.
I was having a discussion about the importance of being able to switch hit. How significant is it?
This one shot. I think if you're, professional at it, as unable to make the play is Jack Gethings. That's an error, and everybody's safe. Bases are loaded. But I think, if you're really good from both sides, it makes a huge difference. Some guys are, a lot better from one side than they are the other, which then I'd say, why don't you just stick to one side? But, it's interesting. One guy, Taish Terashima from Japan, went to St. Bonaventure on the Schooners 2 years ago. Strict lefty hitter, kind of like your typical slap hitter.
Yep.
Small guy, like 5'6". All of a sudden, one game, he comes up batting righty. Never seen it before.
Just because.
Just because. I guess one of the assistant coaches said, hey, Taish, why don't you try batting righty? He said, okay. So they worked on it for about a week. First pitch he saw at the Shipyard, home run.
No way.
First ever home run that he's hit.
Wow. And he never went back.
I think he did, actually.
Yeah. Interesting.
It was fun. It was the weirdest thing. As Rodriguez skies this one to right field, coming in is Stevie Mangrum, and he makes the grab. So the Schooners strand the bases loaded in the top of the fifth. A couple more strikeouts for Smith, and base hits for Cruz and Ardito, an error, but then Rodriguez flies out, and it's still 6-0 goals as we head bottom five here at Cardines on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom five here at Cardines Field. 6-0 lead for the Newport Gulls over the Mystic Schooners in this Southern Division rivalry matchup. Dalton Reed, Jason Gonzalez, and Dylan Plew due up. It's 5, 6, 7 in the order. First pitch to Plew is in there for a called strike, or Reed, is in there for a called strike one. He's had himself a great day, 2 for 2, a double, 2-run home run, 2 runs scored. And this one is just outside, so the count goes to 1-1.
When Newport was struggling offensively, a lot of the guys in the middle of the order were, and it was Dalton Reed especially because he had such a hot start. But he's finally found some rhythm again, and it's contagious. You can tell. It's scary. I mean, you can tell this team wants to win. They want to be here, and that's half the battle.
There's a swing and a miss, and this one is low and inside. It absolutely is. I mean, not to speculate, but a team like the Winnipesaukee Muskrats, North Adams.
It's tough.
Yeah. This one is fouled off. I mean, you're basically already eliminated.
But you can't I mean, obviously, you want to go out there and you want to compete every single time. That's what makes a professional. That's the difference for a lot of scouts that are watching these guys. But, it's hard with 10 wins and playing 100 games.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the hook. Dalton Reed goes down, and he's gone for the first time today. And Brett Rodriguez gets the leadoff man out for the fourth total inning.
When you combine the spring season, if they make the tournament, and then NECBL, it's tough. But that's what separates, good players from great players. Because a lot of guys, if not all of them, have the skill here.
Third, I should say. The Gulls got the leadoff man on in the second. And the fourth, as this one is launched to deep right, and a no-doubter home run for Jason Gonzalez makes it 7-0 Newport Gulls here in the bottom of the fifth.
I mean, Gonzalez, we've been talking about it. The guy is swinging a confident bat, and he puts that one well over the right field fence for his 4th home run of the season, 3rd of this week.
I didn't even see it off the bat. I could just tell by the fans' reaction. I just heard, whoa, and you knew it.
It was just a breaking ball on the outer third that he took the other way. Out of here in a hurry.
This one called strike one to Dylan Plew, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI double and a ground out to third base. Counts 0-1, just 1 out in the inning. Already a run across on the solo shot by Jason Gonzalez. It's 7-0 Newport Gulls. And, every time in Cardines Field that Newport has been able to take a lead, the Schooners always come back and make it a ball game, but Russell Smith has absolutely been dealing. Here comes the 0-2, bounces in front of the plate, counts 1-2.
And with Jerry Burke, the way he's been able to throw out of the bullpen since moving from his starting role, lights out. And obviously Nate Ryder, a guy who in the 8th and 9th innings has been successful.
Comes the 1-2, just inside. So the count's even 2 balls and 2 strikes to Plew.
It hasn't just been Mystic when teams come to Cardines Field. You were watching the game against the Pilgrims, and all of a sudden they came back. It's happened.
This one a ground ball over to first base. Freddie Sabito fields and throws to Clark, covering first base for the 2nd out of the inning. Nice job by Clark and Sabito to field that one perfectly.
That's been a particularly significant problem for Newport. It was 1-0 against Sanford going into the 8th. Sanford had the lead, and they put up 6 runs, and all of a sudden it was just blown open. I remember it was 6-5 against Ocean State in the top of the 9th, and they put up 5 runs. It was 11-5. Just big innings against the Gulls have been an issue.
This one's outside. The count's 1-0. Schooners need themselves a big inning in this ball game.
That's why it was so nice to see the game on Wednesday. 5-3, really good baseball, the cleanest game Newport's played.
The Schooners with only 4 hits on the night and 2 errors, no runs. Newport 7 runs on 9 hits and 1 error. It's 2 gone, counts 2-0 to Logan Harvey. And this one misses inside, so 3 balls and no strikes. And Brett Clark looking to avoid the 2-out walk.
There was just 1 walk for Newport pitching in that game. And the other side of the coin, 13 for the Schooners the last time they played.
And there's a 4-pitch, 2-out walk. Logan Harvey is on, and now Jake Blumgren is to the plate. He got an RBI single back in the 2nd, grounded out to short in the 3rd. And you got to think, I was just about to say, it's got to be soon that Clark's day is over. Rob Bono comes out.
Action for both teams down the left field line in the bullpen.
And there is the call. So Clark's day is done. New pitcher into the ball game for the Mystic Schooners. Looks like that's Chris Troy, 25. So this is going to be fun. Mid to high 90s. And we'll see what Troy can do. We'll take a break. We'll be back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And we are back with 2 gone here in the bottom of the 5th. New pitcher for the Mystic Schooners. It's Chris Troy, 6'5", 225, righty, rising sophomore out of Brentwood, California, and UC Santa Barbara. Troy on the year has a 1-1 record, a 1.55 ERA in 5 appearances, 2 starts. He's racked up 32 strikeouts over 17 in the 3rd innings. Has walked 13, only given up 7 hits. His best appearance won him Pitcher of the Week, where he went 5 1/3 at New Bedford, struck out 12 batters, no hits, walked just 1. And Troy, very hard thrower, throws mid-90s, fun to watch. He's either, a little inconsistent with his spots, or he's on and he's the best pitcher in this league. And Troy, he started, his last 2 appearances have been starts, and he's coming in a 7-0 game. That's all I'll say. So, and Troy is, he's a key pitcher for the Schooners. And he's going to take on Jack Blumgren. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss, blew it right past him for strike one.
Something about this booth just brings in unexpected pitching changes
Yeah.
for a lot of teams.
Quinn Kelly wasn't happy the other night.
No, he was not. And he heard about it. That was a wild game.
Here comes the 0-1. Troy delivers. It's a little bit high, and the count's 1-1. Blumgren's 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a ground out. Troy just looking for a quick third out, trying to get the Schooners out of the inning. They trail 7-0. Here comes the pitch. That one in there for a called strike at the knees, and the count is 1-2.
As it stands now, 4 2/3 for Brett Clark. 9 hits, 7 runs, 5 of which were earned, 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. But Harvey on first is his responsibility.
Here comes the 1-2. Low and outside. Counts 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Middle of the road as a staff is in terms of walks, 131, so not a huge problem. But it was yesterday.
Here comes the 2-2. This one low as well, so the count's 3-2 right now to Blumgren. Good at bat by him against the hard-throwing Chris Troy.
For the Gulls, they're 9th in the league in walks. They see a lot of pitches. They do strike out a good amount. But they hit the ball.
Harvey is off, and it's inside. He walked him, so back-to-back walks. Harvey on second, now Blumgren on first, and I'll bring up the top of the order. It's Tim Tawa.
You don't want to leave one over the zone here to Tawa. He didn't team an average. You also certainly don't want to walk the bases loaded. Another opportunity here with 2 outs for Newport.
Troy delivers the first pitch, fastball, swing and a miss by Tawa. Counts 0-1. Schooners in the top of the 6th inning are going to have Sabito, Kelly, and Santarelli do up. That's 3-4-5. Troy gives a look back to second, delivers the 0-1. This one is low and inside, so the count's even a ball and a strike. And Troy is having a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone.
For all the success that Tawa has had this season, he's still very hard on himself. He's been very frustrated this week. Just with the bat flying out of his hands and hitting balls hard right at guys.
There's another swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
Also the strikeouts, too. He was displeased with the call by Will Bowers in the second when he struck out looking. He said with 2 strikes, he's a guy that is always pretty much going up there to swing. You have to adjust as the game goes on.
1-2, another swing and a miss. Tawa down on strikes. Chris Troy gets the Schooners out of the inning, but a solo home run for Jason Gonzalez makes it 7-0. We're going to head into the top of the 6th. Goals on top. We'll be back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top 6 we go. Freddie Sabito, Shane Kelly, and Nano Santarelli do up. Sabito 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. And Russell Smith back out there. Why not? He's been dealing. The Schooners had their best opportunity to put a run across. They stranded the bases loaded with 2 outs in the 5th, and the count's 1-0 right now to Sabito. Here comes the second pitch. Big swing and a miss, and the count's even a ball and a strike.
Yeah, it's just dropping off the table. They're really off balance with it. Haven't been able to figure it out yet. That breaking ball from Smith.
Smith with 6 strikeouts, just 1 walk, 4 hits allowed. This one popped up into left field. Underneath is Dylan Plew, and he makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Sabito retired. He's now 0 for 3.
The 6th time, 6 for 6, Russell Smith is getting the first man out. That's the difference. That really is the difference. For a pitching staff as a whole that has struggled, an ERA 5.88, struggling against leadoff hitters, that's something that they're trying to work on here, and Smith is doing a great job of it.
Well, now it's Shane Kelly. First pitch, breaking ball, called strike 1. Kelly on the day is 0 for 1 with the strikeout, and then he did walk back in the 4th and was stranded on first base. Kelly from Bryant. This one up high, so a Rhode Island school for him. Schooners have become very familiar with the Ocean State. Took on the Waves on the road the last 2 days, and now back here in Newport. 1-1 on the way, swing and a miss, and now it's 1-2.
Isn't it funny? Waves and the Schooners matching up twice this week.
Three times, actually.
3 times, and the Gulls and the Pilgrims playing twice as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been musical chairs in the Southern Division.
1-2, swing and a miss by Kelly, down on strikes. There's the 7th for Smith. But yeah, we looked at the schedule. Jonah Karp and I, we played each other on June 22nd for the first time. Hadn't played each other until Monday, and then we played 3 straight games, and then we played 2 more times in the final week of the year. The game before the All-Star break and the game after the All-Star break, and that's it. As Nano Santarelli's to the plate, and the first pitch misses low and inside. So, yeah, I mean, the scheduling has been a little wild.
This is the first time you've been back at Cardine since second game of the season.
Yep. I've been looking forward to it, and it's been a long time coming. Counts 1-2. Things have changed. The teams are completely different than they were back then. Here comes the 1-2. This one, chopper in the infield over to second base. Gethings is there. Fields on the hop, throws, and it is just in time to retire Nano Santarelli. So a 1-2-3 for Russell Smith, who's looking great. Still 7-0 Newport Gulls. We're going to head to the bottom of the 6th. And we'll be back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We're back at the 7-0 ball game, heading to the bottom of the 6th. And before we get going, we're going to toss it over to Joe DeLeon for a look around the NECBL.
So the first game that we have going on right now, it's 8-6 in favor of Winnipesaukee after 4 innings of play. And then as far as what else is going around in the NECBL, the close one and the one that you guys were saying you wanted to watch was the Plymouth Pilgrims against the Ocean State Waves. It's the bottom of the 7th, 3-1 in favor of the Pilgrims. As far as the other games going on, Sanford Mainers 2-1 on top of the Valley Blue Sox, bottom of the 6th inning. And then the Upper Valley Nighthawks are holding a 4-2 lead over the North Adams Steeplecats, bottom of the 7th. And then finally, the Keene Swamp Bats with the 1-0 lead over the New Bedford Bay Sox. Mostly very tight games here in the NECBL. Back to you.
Not tight tonight here at Cardines, but Schooners looking to make it a ball game as Gethings, Hosey, and Mangrum do up. Chris Troy back out there. First pitch fastball called strike 1.
Well, that Keene New Bedford game, that is big. 1-0 in the 7th. New Bedford just a half game behind Newport.
Tonight could definitely be a big night for the Newport Gulls. If they hang on to win this game, they would just be a game out of the last playoff spot. And New Bedford, if they lose, would be a game and a half behind the Gulls. As Troy delivers this one fouled off, the count remains 0-2. Gethings on the day, a single, a walk, and an RBI groundout. So been productive.
It is always interesting when we go interdivisional. We're talking with the guys from some of the northern team and, see what their situation, we know what the numbers say, but just see where, who's hot and what not.
It really is. Because, we only see those guys twice a year. And, you talk to Mike Lord, the Valley Blue Sox have been on top, but Mike Lord is never content as this one is flied off of the screen. It's 1-2. He always thinks, that he told me that if the Blue Sox were in the Southern Division, then they would be, right with all the rest of the teams in the pack, not have as good of a record.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, it's fair. Parity, that's the definition of the Southern Division.
And, those teams at the top, as the 1-2's up high, they got to play, you would think it would be wins. They play Winnipesaukee 6 times, North Adams, Vermont. So just looking at the teams, it's kind of an easier road for the northern teams, and the south is just so tight. As this one is low and inside, but it's definitely a whole nother world up there for sure. Count's now full, good at bat by Gethings.
Well, it would be interesting to see what the head-to-head Southern versus Northern is for all teams, just as a total.
Yeah, that would be. This one is grounded over to Sean Sullivan at second base. He fields and throws in time for the first out of the inning. I can tell you, as far as the Mystic Schooners against Northern teams, swept by Valley, 0-1 against Sanford, swept by Keene, swept by Upper Valley. Let's see here, 1-1 against Vermont, 1-0 against North Adams, and 1-0 against Winnipesaukee. So the Schooners have not played well against the top teams in the north.
Newport is 1-1 against Keene, 1-0 against Valley, 0-1 against Sanford, has not played Vermont yet.
First pitch is high and outside to Cody Hosey.
1-1 against Upper Valley.
Upper Valley pitching got to the Schooners both times. They shut us out at their place, 8-0, and that was right when the Schooners had the 1-5 start, and then the Schooners were rolling, and then they ran into Upper Valley, lost to them, but then the Schooners picked it right back up and kept on winning after that. 1-1 on the way. There's a called strike 2, counts 1-2. Cody Hosey on the day, reached on a fielder's choice in the first, 4-6-3 double play in the third, and got a solo home run that hit off the tree in left field in the fourth. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes. Chris Troy picks up his second strikeout of his outing.
Yeah, Troy's looked good. Going right after the Gulls.
That's what he does. He's kind of, throwing mid-90s. The guy to our left told me he hit 92 with his final pitch in the 5th inning, and that was in his first inning, so he's not even completely warm yet. Here comes Stevie Mangrum on the day, 1 for 3. First pitch swung on and missed. He was a little behind, and the count's 0-1.
Mangrum a free swinger, but he puts up numbers.
Singleton scored a run in the third. 0-1, called strike 2. It's 0-2. Yeah, Troy throwing hard. He's on. He's throwing strikes. He's looking good. This is the best Chris Troy, best version of him for sure. Looking for a quick 1-2-3. Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss, and a quick inning for Chris Troy. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Pumping it right by the Newport Gulls, but still 7-0. Gulls on top as we head into the top of the 7th inning. It's going to be Dutra, Barmakian, and Cruz due up when we come back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We go into the top of the 7th inning, 7-0 lead for the Newport Gulls over the Mystic Schooners. And now to take you through play-by-play for the remainder of this ball game, the voice of the Gulls, Dave Peck.
Thank you, Mike. And we have a pitching change here for the Newport Gulls. It is Holden Cook, 6'6", 225, rising sophomore out of Butler County Community College, hometown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This is his first outing here with the Newport Gulls, a late addition after it was a bullpen that was dwindling. Making some late season acquisitions here, trying to get things going. 5.34 earned run average this past spring, 22 runs, 33 hits. He tries to keep Newport on top, 7-0 here in the top of the 7th inning.
Well, Cook standing at 6'6", looks like nothing compared to Russell Smith at 6'9".
To the final stat line on Smith. It was his best outing of the season. 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. It'll be Dutra, Barmakian, and Cruz facing Cook as he gets set for his first pitch in a Newport Gulls uniform. Fastball, high and inside, ball 1.
Hey, if there's a time to do it, it's right now. New pitcher into the ball game. The Schooners have got to love that. We'll see what they can do.
Here's the 1-0 from Cook. Swung on and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dutra had the double in the second, was stranded out there after Barmakian popped out to Blumgren in shallow left field. And he struck out swinging his last time up. Cook winds and deals. Breaking ball low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Last night, a Ocean State Wave made his NECBL debut against the Schooners, and it was Mike Gutierrez, and he went a solid 2 1/3, only gave up 1 run, so he had success.
2-1 pitch. Curveball misses low, bounces on home plate. And it'll be 3-1. Yeah, down the stretch here. This is when guys start to leave. Guys start to get to their inning or pitch limit. And especially after the All-Star game, you never know who you're going to have left, so you have to figure out a way to get guys. Cook is one of them. 3-1, high fastball taken for ball 4. First time that Mystic has had the leadoff man on, and it comes here in the top of the 7th inning.
And you talked about it. That's been the story of the ball game as Russell Smith has been tremendous, and then Cook walks the first batter that he faces, so we'll see if that kind of changes the momentum a little bit, and we'll see if Barmakian behind Dutra can move him up.
Possibly some nerves involved, pitching in front of the Cardians faithful for the first time. Now from the stretch, first pitch to Barmakian, misses high and outside. With a 7-run lead, you got to challenge them here. 9 outs to go. Still a lot of opportunity for Mystic, but dare them to hit it. They don't have the best statistics, as that one is launched deep to right field. Mangrum going back towards the fence, and he's able to make the play right in front of the wall for out number 1. I mean, case in point right there. You obviously don't want to leave it right down the middle, but you dare them to hit it, and if they hit it hard, they still have to beat 7 guys, 8 if you include the catcher. And Mangrum was able to make the nice play.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And, Barmakian, it sounded good off of the bat. Barmakian has 1 home run on the year, and it was to right field. I thought at best it would have been off the fence, but Mangrum was able to get back there.
Mystic with a .238 team average, second to last in the league. Richard with the lead off first. Here's Anthony Cruz from the right side. First pitch hits him. Fastball high and inside. He tosses the bat, takes off the elbow guard, and there's men on first and second with 1 down.
That looked like that fired up Anthony Cruz. We'll see if that lights a spark under the Schooners and they get something rolling.
Harvey wants to go out to talk to Cook, try and calm him down. Not even close. Tried to hop backwards. Couldn't. The fastball had too much velocity. But another opportunity here for Mystic. Bases loaded in the top of the 5th. Smith was able to work out of it. Now runners on first and second. 1 down for Zach Ardito. Fastball, strike 1, right down the middle. Ardito's flown out to Mangrum in right field, and he had a single in the 5th. Here's the 0-1, fastball high. Ardito batting in the 9 hole. Sean Sullivan is on deck. Cook gets the sign from Harvey, takes a couple looks at Dutra, now goes to the plate, the 1-1, hit hard on the line, into right center field. It'll get in for a single as Mangrum scoops it up on the hop. The throw coming in is cut off, but it will be an RBI single at that. Scoring for second is Dutra. Now we have a rundown between second and third, and it's Anthony Cruz who is tagged out by Jason Gonzalez for out number 2. So an RBI single for Zach Ardito, scores Dutra from second. The throw didn't go home. It was cut off by Reed, and then they were able to get Cruz in the rundown between second and third for out number 2.
Well, Anthony Cruz probably thought that they were going to throw to the plate to try to get out Chris Dutra, but it was cut off by Cook, who I thought Cook could have easily turned around and thrown home and got Dutra out at the plate, but instead he opts toward Cruz for the second out.
Here is Sean Sullivan. First pitch, fastball, taken for strike 1. Now 7-1 Newport on top, but you take the out. A lot of times you'll see outfielders, if they don't think they have a play at the plate, they'll try and get the back runner. 0-1 breaking ball, that one is in there on the inside corner. Now 0-2. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there could have been a play at home. It would have been close, and Dutra probably would have been safe. Here's the 0-2. High fastball. Taken easily for ball 1. Couple of nice rundowns that the Newport infield has been able to execute so far in this game. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball in the dirt. Ardito is off. The throw down to second from Harvey is high. And it's a stolen base for Zach Ardito.
Well, a runner in scoring position, and it's getting very late, so you got to score in bunches, but still just try to chip away at this lead.
That's Ardito's first stolen base of the season. As the pitch to Sullivan misses high, now 3-2.
Yeah, which is surprising, and he hasn't been caught, so he hasn't even attempted all year. And he has a lot of speed. He stole 10 bases with Hartford this past spring.
Cook trying to work past it. Comes to the set. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. High fastball, ball 4. So it's been control here for Cook. The walk. Cruz hit by a pitch. The single. And now another walk. Runners on first and second for Brett Rodriguez. And Mike Coombs is coming out. Possibly has seen enough. We'll see if there's any action down the left field line for Newport. And it's Austin Michelle out of Dartmouth who's going to come into this ball game. A quick outing for Cook. He gets his first appearance in a Gulls uniform out of the way. 7-1 Newport on top, but Mystic threatening. We'll be right back with the new pitcher and more right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Seven to 1 Newport with a 6-run lead here in the top of the 7th inning, but already 1 run across in this inning. Dutra led off with a walk. Barmakian flew out to Mangrum, then Cruz was hit by a pitch. Ardito with the RBI single. Cruz was put away in a rundown between 2nd and 3rd on that play. But that made it 7-1, and then Sullivan walked. He stands on first base with Ardito on second. The new pitcher here for Newport is Austin Michelle, rising junior out of Dartmouth College, 6 foot 195. No wins, no losses, 5.04 earned run average in 13 games. He has not made a start this season, given up 30 hits, walked 8, and struck out 29 in 25 innings pitched. He also has a save. His last performance came at Danbury on July 14th, that 8-5 victory. Went 2 innings, gave up just 1 run, walked no one, and struck out 2. As Brett Rodriguez digs in for the 4th time today. Rodriguez 1 for 3 with a single. He was picked off back in the 1st inning. Michelle working from the stretch. First pitch, breaking ball, misses low, ball 1.
Rodriguez is the guy to do it. Homered last night, singled today. We'll see if he can drive in another run for Mystic.
2-out hitting's been the story for Newport. Mystic trying to claw its way back into this one. 1-0, another off speed. This one misses low as well. Russell Smith walked just 1 batter out of 23 faced in 6 innings of work. 2 walks for Cook and a hit by pitch. 2-0. Cutter just catches the inside corner for strike 1.
Rodriguez not happy about that call, looked inside.
Actually may have been a 2-seam, as it seemed like he was running inside even more than where it started. Michelle trying to get back into the count. Sets the tan glove at the chest, takes a few looks at Ardito. Now goes to the plate and gets Rodriguez to swing and miss for strike 2. Inside fastball kind of tied him up a little bit. Rodriguez maybe stepped out. Michelle trying to record the final out here in the top of the 7th. Here's the 2-2, breaking ball. That one just misses for ball 3. By the time that Harvey caught it, it looked to be in the zone, but had some late movement.
It definitely did, and a nice battle going on right now between Rodriguez and Michelle.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. High fastball, ball 4. That's the 3rd walk of the inning for Newport pitching. Bases are now loaded for Freddie Sabito, the number 3 hitter for the Schooners. There's always something. There's always something.
Sabito has a ton of power. He's over 3. You could say he's due. Could make it a ball game.
First pitch popped up. 3rd baseline out of play.
I think he's trying to hit one out of the park.
He has an excellent opportunity. Newport with a 6-run lead. First time that they have had trouble in this ball game. Here's the 0-1. Curveball misses low, ball 1. Harvey had to stop it in the dirt. Ardito with the lead off of 3rd. Sullivan off 2nd. Rodriguez off 1st. Michelle comes to the set. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball waved and missed. And he maybe caught a piece of it. Regardless, it's 1-2.
Well, the Schooners also had the bases loaded in the 5th inning with 2 outs, and Rodriguez flew out to right field to strand the bases loaded. Schooners looking to avoid doing that for the 2nd time today.
Big situation here. Bases loaded. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball waved and missed for strike 3. And Michelle is able to get out of the inning, leave the bases loaded. After 3 walks and a hit by pitch, just 1 hit in the inning. But a nice job by Michelle. 7-1, Gulls on top. As we're halfway through the 7th, it's time to stretch, and we will keep it here. Throw it over to Newport Gulls PA announcer Don O'Hanley for the singing of Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Take me out to the ball me some peanuts and crackers. I don't care if I ever come back, for it's root for the Gulls. And though it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. That was the best run.
We'll take a quick break and be right back for the bottom of the 7th right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Well done.
As we welcome you back to the ballpark here, Dalton Reed leading things off. Face Chris Troy, and he takes a first pitch fastball inside for ball 1. It'll be Reed, Gonzalez, and Plouffe, 5, 6, and 7 here for Newport. Trying to bounce back and maybe get that run back. They still lead it 7-1. 1-0, hit down the left field line. Dutra giving chase towards the bullpen, but it'll get out of play.
Well, Chris Troy with 3 strikeouts in 1 1/3 and 1 walk. So he's looking good, looking like his old self.
Had a couple of strikeouts last inning, which were very impressive as the 1-1 is lifted foul down the third baseline out of play. Trying to pick up right where he left off here.
Better call.
Reed with a double and scored. Also the 2-run home run in the 3rd. Struck out swinging his last time up. Faces the 1-2 pitch, and he lifts it foul once more.
Better call.
Nice fan retention here at Cardines Field. Approaching the 9 o'clock hour. Fun on a Friday night. No better place to be. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball in the dirt. Waved and missed for strike 3. So Troy continues to impress on the night. That's now his 4th strikeout, and there's 1 down in the 7th.
The third baseman.
We had Senator Michael J. McCaffrey in the ballpark earlier for the pregame festivities. The father of Mike McCaffrey, lefty pitcher for Newport out of Wesleyan University. Cool moment there before first pitch as Gonzalez takes ball 1 low and outside. Gonzalez has a home run in the ball game. That came his last time up. His 4th home run of the season.
Got out of here quick over the right field fence.
1-0, lifted down the right field line, but up and out of play. Just pulled off it a little bit. Solid contact, though.
It's looking like New Bedford's going to lose and Plymouth's going to beat Ocean State.
1-1 from Troy, fastball inside, and it misses for ball 2. Gonzalez thought about it.
So if you guys hang on and New Bedford loses, it's a good scenario. Good night for you guys.
Here's the 2-1 from Troy. Fastball waved and missed for strike 2. Plymouth on top, currently 3-1 over Ocean State in the top of the 8th inning. New Bedford trailing 2-0 in the top of the 8th. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's fouled straight back. We'll do it again. Dylan Plouffe in the on-deck circle. He had to bit it off the ricochet. Just got to be aware. You never know where the bounce is going to come off at Cardines. I mean,
no, we saw the chunk of wood come off earlier in the game.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball outside, ball 3. Newport scored 1 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, and 1 in the 5th. 1 out, nobody on. 3-2 pitch, 1 hopper towards the shortstop Ardito. Scoops it up, wings it to first, 2 gone.
That's a great play by Zach Ardito. Lined very hard at him. He got a guy throwing in the 90s. The ball's going to be hit hard in the infield. Ardito just waited on it, took a tough hop. He reached up, snagged it out of the air, and made a strong throw.
Yeah, and you saw Gonzalez maybe make the safe sign. Thought Sabito may have come off the bag. It looked like he had it, then went off, and then was able to recover, but I think his foot was on there when he initially caught it. So there are 2 down, still nobody on for Dylan Plouffe. Plouffe had the RBI double in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3. Troy looking for Second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. This one is lifted foul down the third baseline, out of play. Schooner scoring their only run in the top of this inning. Number of walks, a hit by pitch. Able to get one back. 0-1 high fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Men and women on top of the warehouse still enjoying the ball game. I actually met the guy who owns the place over there a few nights ago. 1-1, sharply hit on the ground, foul down the first baseline. Still 1-2.
How did that go?
Well, he had a Newport Gulls hat on.
Okay.
And naturally, went up to him, said, what's your affiliation? You big Gulls guy? He said, yes, I'm a huge Gulls guy. I'm the guy who sits on top of the warehouse. He introduced himself, Walter, very nice guy. He said, I'll be out there. We did see him the next night when he was on top of the warehouse. I don't see him today. I don't see the Gulls hat on him. He said he always wears it.
You should get him down before the game for an interview.
We should. That's actually a really good idea.
That'd be cool.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball stays high. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Dylan Plew. We interviewed Tim Tawa in the coach's corner as the player coach, self-proclaimed.
Coombs was over hanging out in his house.
Yeah, he was, making the lineup. No stone unturned. 2-2 pitch. That's lifted foul over the netting down the third baseline. We'll do it once more at least. But Tawa was good. Talked to him about captaining center field. He's had Nick Enright out there in left. He's had Holden Powell in right, kind of helping those guys out when Newport's roster was diminishing.
Yeah, it's great to have a steady guy like Tawa, center fielder, top of the order, kind of the leader for the team.
2-2 changeup, misses low, so a full count here to Dylan Plew. Back-to-back full counts.
Looks like Troy thought it was going to be strike 3. He took a few steps off the mound, ready to head back to the dugout.
If it missed low. Still 2 outs, though, with nobody on. Here's the payoff pitch. Fastball waved and missed for strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 5th of the ball game for Chris Troy. And another 1-2-3 inning. We'll head to the 8th. 7-1 Newport on top right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the 8th inning here. Shane Kelly leading things off. First pitch from Michelle's a breaking ball, check swing. He did go around, said Rich Sarney out there at first base. It's 0-1. So back out on the hill after working through that bases loaded jam. 0-1, off speed. That one just floats in there for strike 2. Nice pitch from Michelle. That's his best tool in his arsenal, at least this summer. Here's the 0-2. There it is, and it misses low and outside. So 3 straight off-speed pitches from Austin Michelle. He's ahead 1-2 on Shane Kelly. The pitch. That one chopped. Second baseman Gething gloves it, has some trouble, but wings it to first, 1 down.
And we do have our attendance number if you want to shout it out.
2,907. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most attended game of the season here at Cardines Field.
Nice.
On Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night, the fans in attendance and staying, too. A good amount of retention here tonight, relatively speaking, as we're at the 9 o'clock hour here on the East Coast. Again, we'd like to welcome everyone listening in, West Coast, South, Midwest, Portugal, wherever you are. We got a good matchup here. First pitch to Santarelli, misses outside, 1-0.
Newport Gulls with a sizable lead in the attendance margin for the NECBL.
34,406. 1-0 pitch misses inside, 2-0.
Can add about 3,000 more after today.
Valley Blue Sox at 23,085. 2-0 from Michelle. Hit on the ground right side. First baseman Reed backhands it, flips it to Michelle at first, and it's close, but it's in time for out number 2.
Not sure why Valley is second when it's probably by the average. I think that's what it is.
I think it is average.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keene is at 27,566.
The average attendance for Newport at Cardines, 1,911. Second place, Valley Blue Sox, 1,649. We'll see what 2,900 and change does to that average here, as there are 2 down in the top of the 8th inning for Chris Dutra. Doubled in the second, struck out swinging in the 5th, walked and scored. The only run for the Schooners in the 7th. Open stance in the left-handed batter's box. First pitch from Michelle is a breaking ball, misses inside for ball one.
So this is actually Joe Fortin pinch hitting.
So Dutra out, Joe Fortin in. And the 1-0 fouled off his foot, 1-1.
Joe Fortin out of URI, still looking for his first hit on the year, and he was absolutely robbed. Hit a rocket to third base and a diving catch by the Ocean State third baseman last night. Robbed Fortin of his first hit of the season.
Dutra did have a double as the 1-1 misses high and outside. I did notice that Bono does like to go to the bench often. A lot of pinch hitters, especially in yesterday's game against the Waves. 2-1 pitch. Nice curveball taken for strike two. Caught the knees.
Yeah, we had 5 total pinch hitters last night. Tommy Gardner came in, Freddie Sabito, and Shane Kelly. So actually 6 we had in the 4 spot. Freddie Sabito pinch hit for Chris Dutra, then later Shane Kelly pinch hit for Sabito.
2-2 pitch, curveball swung on a miss in the dirt. Harvey picks it up, fires it to first. A 1-2-3 inning for Austin Michelle. He continues to be sharp. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th, 7-1 Newport on top right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Dave Peck alongside Mike Majeski here as we're into the bottom half of the 8th inning. Newport still leading this one 7-1, looking for its 4th straight win and trying to climb back to 500. 16-17 right now, but just 3 outs away with a 6-run lead. It'll be Harvey, Blumgren, and Tawa to face Troy. First pitch lifted deep to center field. Rodriguez goes back, and this one is going to be caught. A nice catch right over his left shoulder for out number 1.
Man, it looked like Rodriguez misread that ball. I thought it was going to go over his head, but he reached out at the last second to grab that one out of the air for a nice catch.
Ever since changing to number 23, Harvey has been hitting the ball very hard. He had an opposite field home run, his first of the season, earlier this week at Cardines Field. And he hit that one right on the button. Loud out, number 1. Here's Jack Blumgren. First pitch misses low, ball 1.
Oh, also a defensive change for the Schooners. Joe Fortin is now in left field, replaces Chris Dutra.
1-0 pitch, check swing on the breaking ball, but it misses outside. Blumgren able to hold up. Troy taking his time here as he steps off, now gets back on the hill. 2-0 pitch, fastball, swung on and missed. Final score between the Pilgrims and the Waves. Plymouth winning this one 3-1. 2-1 pitch. Nice off speed, dropped in for strike 2. So some scores coming in around the league affecting both these teams.
And Keene beat New Bedford 2-0.
2-2, foul tip. Or nope, he just swung at, and Cruz dropped it and tags him for out number 2. Another strikeout for Troy. That's now his 6th, and they're 2 down.
So that means the Waves are 1.5 games back. Schooners will be 2 games back. And Newport will be 3 games back.
Assuming the 7-1 lead holds here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 down, nobody on for Tim Tawa. First pitch from Troy. Fastball misses inside, 1-0.
I am assuming that the 7-1 lead will hold.
That's assuming the 7-1 lead will hold. 1-0 pitch. Off speed misses outside, 2-0. You wonder if Nate Wright is going to come into this game. Jerry Burke, another opportunity late with a 6-run lead, possibly save Ryder. He's had a lot of work recently. 2-0, fastball well inside, and Tawa just avoids being hit. It's 3-0.
So that officially means that Greg Zackerson from the Pilgrims is coaching the All-Star game. Him and his staff.
That'll be a lot of fun. Here's the 3-0. Fastball low, ball 4. So a 2-out walk. Tawa is on. And Jack Gethings will dig in for the 5th time.
And it's not officially a Pilgrims win until you see that gif of the Mayflower rolling in. Pilgrims win on the bottom.
I've never seen that graphic.
Really?
Nope, never seen it.
It's pretty awesome.
2 outs. Man on first and Tim Tawa. Here's Jack Gethings. Singled in the first, walked in the third. Had the RBI ground out to his counterpart Sullivan and struck out his last time up. Troy, long pause from the stretch. First pitch. Fastball misses low, ball 1. We have a field reporter upstairs on top of the warehouse in Nick Bello. He is there talking with the folks on top, something that we've always wanted. He's saying they've been there for 6 years now, watching Gulls games. Tawa is off. The throw from Cruz to second is in time for out number 3. Nice play there between Cruz and Sullivan to retire the side. Newport still leads it 7-1 as we head to the 9th right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the 9th inning. Newport 7, Mystic 1. Nate Ryder on the hill for the Gulls, trying to finish this one out and give Newport its 4th win in a row. Ryder, rising senior out of Bryant, 6'7", 245, 2-0 record, 2.84 earned run average in 17 games. He's given up only 13 hits, walked 8, struck out 22 in 19 innings pitched, and he has a league-leading 8 saves this season. His most recent came in his last outing on Wednesday, that 5-3 win over the Pilgrims. 1 inning, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts, but a gutsy performance when he picked up his 2nd win of the season on Monday, 10-9 over the Pilgrims. 1 2/3, 2 runs, both of which were earned off 2 hits, 3 walks, and a strikeout. He was able to work past a rocky top of the 8th inning and shut down the Pilgrims for a win that really started, this run and this momentum shift for Newport. Final stat line for Michelle, 1 1/3, no hits, no runs, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. He faced 5 Mystic Schooners. Newport 16-17, trying to improve to 500. Mystic 19-16. Schooners are in 3rd, Newport is in 4th. It'll be Barmakian, Cruz, and Ardito. 7, 8, and 9, trying to erase a 6-run deficit. Newport 9-9 at home. Started out the year 7-3 at Cardines Field. Did not win a home game before this streak until June 25th.
We got a pinch hitter. It is Mike Wilson into the ball game.
First pitch to Wilson, swung on and missed on the elevated fastball, 0-1. Wilson, you mentioned his recent struggles.
Yeah, trying to break out of it.
The 0-1, fastball on the outside corner, strike 2, nice spot from Ryder.
The defense has still been there. He's the best outfielder in the NECBL that I've seen.
Rob Tim Tawa, not 2-0 win for the Schooners, but down 0-2. Here's the pitch, fastball just misses outside.
Has a ton of power, tied for the team lead with 6 home runs.
The 1-2, off speed, misses high.
That is Stony Brook, rising junior from Colonia, New Jersey.
Just batting 187, 20 hits, 5 of them being doubles. He also has 6 home runs. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swung on a miss for strike 3. 1 down in the top of the 9th. Nice start for Ryder. Not trying to mess around. He'll face Anthony Cruz. He was 1 for 2 in the ball game. Flew out to Mangrum in right field, then singled, and then was hit by a pitch, but was thrown out on the rundown between 2nd and 3rd. Ryder sets the glove at the belt. Here's the first pitch. Fastball misses high, ball 1. Newport just 2 games back of the Schooners as it stands now. 1-0 pitch, lifted down the right field line, out of play. Trying to just cut it to 1, and with New Bedford losing, it's big on both ends of the spectrum, gaining distance and trying to minimize distance.
Yeah, you guys would have liked if, Plymouth lost, but I don't know. It doesn't make too much of a difference. They're just trying to catch us at this point.
1-1 fouled straight back, now 1-2. Yeah, I mean, the Ocean State-Plymouth game didn't really matter for Newport that much. It was more for the Schooners.
Yeah.
But, even then, Mystic playing Newport, they had to win to try and keep retaining that third-place spot. They will still have it, just it'll be a little bit shorter as that breaking ball is swung on and missed. Check swing from Anthony Cruz. He went around back-to-back Ks, and Mystic is down to its final out. Newport trying to win its 4th straight. It would be the longest winning streak for the Gulls this season and coming at the right time after the start of July was a rocky one for the Gulls.
Another pinch hitter, Tommy Gardner, is in there now out of Maryland.
First pitch to Gardner, misses low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Tommy Gardner taking a look at his numbers. Batting just 139, but has gotten on base 12 walks, 367 on base percentage.
1-0 pitch, high fastball taken for ball 2.
He was the guy who at the very beginning of the season was in the lineup every day, and he would walk every single time. I think in the first game here at Cardines, he had 3 walks and scored 3 times.
Trying to just extend the ball game here. Nobody on, 2 outs. 2-0 pitch, fastball at the knees, but low for ball 3.
Gardner has 1 home run that he hit at Danbury over that right field fence. It was a 3-run shot at Rogers Park.
12 walks on the season, though. About to get his 13th, but not on that pitch as it's a fastball taken for strike 1. Right here trying to work all the way back into this one, complete the 1-2-3 inning, and give Newport the win. Nods his head with the sign from Harvey. Sets the black glove at the belt. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Off speed, misses low for ball 4. So some life. There'll be another pinch hitter.
This is Nick Cardieri out of Stetson.
Emptying the bench, just trying to piece something together. 7-1 Newport on top of the 9th inning.
And we'll have another one. Looks like that's Connor Moriarty waiting on deck.
Wilson struck out. Cruz struck out. Gardner walked. Here is Cardieri. First pitch lifted into right field. Mangrum going back to his left at the fence. He'll have to play it off the wall. The throw in to second is going to be in time as Cardieri is thrown out trying to extend it to a double. The relay from Mangrum into Blumgren finishes this game off. Final score, Newport 7, Mystic 1. And the Gulls improve to 17-17 on the year. A huge win for the hometown team. Newport's 4th straight. We'll have the full post-game report and more when we come back right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. So Newport takes this one, improves to 17-17, now takes a 3-2 lead head-to-head against the Schooners this season. The 2 teams will face off once more on August 1st, the final home game of the season, the final game of the 2018 summer for both teams. But this one was all Newport from the very beginning, and the tone was set by Russell Smith. 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, just 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. The bullpen was able to keep them in this. Holden Cook, 2/3 of an inning, 1 run, 2 walks, but he was able to be bailed out by Austin Michelle. 1 1/3, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and Nate Ryder doing what he does. He was able to close the door, 1 hit in 1 inning, just the 9th, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. So the Gulls win a big one now, just 1 game back of the final playoff spot here in the Southern Division standings.
Things are getting spicy in the South for sure. Big game for the Newport Gulls. They got the job done, taking down the Schooners, who have now lost 2 in a row. And we talked about it in the pregame show way before when we were, on camera. You said that pitching on the road has been a problem for Mystic, and proved to be the same tonight. Brett Clark got into some trouble. Chris Troy came in. He was absolutely lights out. Troy was dominant, as you expect when he comes in, but by that time the damage was done, and we saw 3 home runs in this ball game. We saw a cool one by Cody Hosey that hit the tree out there in left field, so it's always fun to come to Cardines, but the Schooners will be very happy. They have a 3-game road stand, or home stand coming up. They're playing against North Adams, New Bedford, and Winnipesaukee. Got to win those games.
Very doable wins.
Yeah.
But, it's crazy. Things change, and I would say 70% of it at this point is mental.
Yes.
How bad do you want it? What is your mindset as a team? Is there momentum in your favor? Right now, Newport is playing its best baseball of the season. This is the first time they've had a 4-game win streak so far in 2018, and it came after just a really, really tough start of July. I mean, their team average was below 300, well below, when it was around 330 for the majority of the year. So this is a big win, momentum riding, and home runs have been the story. Dalton Reed with the 2-run shot in the 3rd. Cody Hosey added 1 in the 4th. And then Jason Gonzalez with his first long ball of the night, his 4th of the season. He continues to roll. Newport winning this one. Final score once more, 7-1. Mike, we'll see you in about a week and a half or so for the finale of this matchup, and I'm sure that one will have fireworks when we get down to it.
That's going to be a lot of fun. It could come down to that last day, and you know me, I hope it does. I'm hoping for all the chaos in the world, and we get there, and that's for the last spot or, playoff seeding, all of that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We'll see what happens. It'll certainly be interesting. The voice of the Mystic Schooners, Mike Majeski. Now we'll send things over to Newport Gulls field reporter Joe DeLeon for the rest of the post-game report. Joe.
Thank you, Dave. So I'm going to quickly take a look at the NECBL scores just to finish things off. Valley Blue Sox ended up falling 2-1 to the Sanford Mainers. Upper Valley Nighthawks got the 6-4 victory over the North Adams Steeplecats. And then, as Dave alluded to previously, the Plymouth Pilgrims ended up beating the Ocean State Waves by a score of 3-1. And then the final game of the night was the Keene Swampats beating the New Bedford Bay Sox 2-0. As far as the goals go, 7-1 victory, and actually marks the 4th straight win, 3rd straight home victory for the Gulls. And then also, if you take a look at the stats from how they've performed in that span, they have accumulated and put up over 5 runs in every single one of those wins. Of these games, Newport scored 8-5 beating Danbury, 10-9 beating Plymouth, 3-5 beating Plymouth, and then finally today, 7-1 over the Mystic Schooners. So looking at statistically how things ended up turning out, Russell Smith ended up being the guy on the mound that was throwing some heat. 4 hits allowed, 6 scoreless innings, and then only 1 walk, and also to go along with it, 7 strikeouts. As far as some of the other pitchers, the only one that really ended up giving up a run was Holden Cook, who appeared in his first career game. But then looking across the board, though, there was a lot more consistency. Every single player except for 1 was able to record a hit in this lineup, the only one being Logan Harvey, who went 0 for 3. But there was actually only 1 player who ended up getting 2 hits, and I'm being joined by Nick Bella, who happened to be the man that made his way on top of the warehouse, which I'm going to get to in a second. But how do you think that the offensive production was important for today's game?
It was absolutely huge today. Great pitching too. You gotta give Russ Smith a lot of credit for what he did tonight. Because he struggled early on in the season, and he came back, really pitched well today, and the offense really took off. But I think Dave's ready for us. We'll get back to the roof in a second. But Dave, down to you.
Or it doesn't appear we're ready just yet.
Guess not.
No, all good.
All right.
Still waiting on the thumbs up and the go-to from Tom Lima, who's in the studio. And we're just waiting to hear from him. And we're sending it back down to you, Dave.
Thanks, guys. It's time for the Newport Gulls player of the game tonight. Russell Smith out of TCU, 6 innings, no runs, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts. Russ, what was working out there today?
Really attacked with the fastball as a game plan going in, worked the fastball in, then first time around the order worked the fastball in, and then next time we're going to hit them with breaking balls, and that really worked for us.
How nice is it to pitch with a lead? The offense has been rolling, and again here tonight.
Oh, the offense was fantastic. Defensively, we were great, too. Really made it easy for me to pitch.
4 wins in a row. This is the longest win streak for Newport so far this season. I mean, what has changed? It was a rough start to July, and now all of a sudden.
I don't think anything's really changed. I just think we're playing better baseball. We had some bounces not go our way earlier, but now we're just playing good baseball day in, day out.
Late in summer baseball, a lot of it is mental. You guys are just coming off a long college season, now playing 44 games in just 2 months. But how do you stay focused and try and finish it out? It's easy when you got some momentum behind you now.
You just got to take it day by day. Get in whenever you get to the field, just lock in for however long you're here. That's really what it is.
All right, thanks, Russ. Player of the game, TCU's Russell Smith. We'll send it back to you guys upstairs.
Thank you, Dave. And Russell Smith ended up being the guy with the huge day today, 6 scoreless innings, as Dave alluded to. But I want to talk to you, Nick, because there have been so many times that we have talked about and said we want to get up there, we want to talk to someone, we want to get a microphone up there. But
that's what's next.
That's what's next after we broke ground today. But realistically, it's going to be a little bit tough. But how did you end up getting up there? I texted you in the group chat. I just want the fans to know how you ended up being on top there, because honestly, that's some pretty dedicated reporting in what you did.
Yeah, so I had a lot of free time between, the 6th inning and the end of the game. Oh, gotta go. All right, Dave, back to you.
Thanks, guys. Once again, your final score here from Cardines Field. Newport 7, Mystic 1. The Gulls are now 500 at 17-17, just 1 game back of the final playoff spot in the Southern Division standings. The Schooners still have that 1-game lead, but Newport is on a 4-game win streak, and they are continuing to roll. The Gulls will next be in action tomorrow against another Southern Division rival in the Ocean State Waves. They'll head over to Old Mountain Field for a 6:30 start. Then they'll head up to Vermont to face the Mountaineers for the first time on Sunday. The next home game here at Cardines Field will be on Wednesday night. For everyone a part of the broadcast, Tom Lima, our executive producer, with Shannon Carlson, our producer. Our audio technician this evening was Dan Byford, with Rob Sanchez, our on-site engineer. Tess Rowe was our production assistant. Nick Bello, our social media coordinator. Andre Olivier, our statistician, with Joe DeLeon in the booth as our field reporter. For the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Mike Majeski, I'm Dave Peck saying so long from the city by the sea.